we are live. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. And of course, welcome to Bantu TV. This is Kalinda Shachinda out here in the Indianapolis city, right here in the Hoosier State. Midwest. That's where you're watching me from. And look at all this slew of hosts and guests we have today. I'm super excited. Well, let's go on with the show. Let me bring in our co-host, the incomparable, the most handsome today. Okay, I'll leave it there. Back to if you do your vuvuzelas, and then we're gonna go to um Lady Sarah, my handsome brother from Shibuyunji, or in my father's village, backyard Shikatunda, Mr. Himwani, and then we have Chilumba Simukonda. That name sounds of kind of familiar. And then who do we have? Oh, we have here my other brother from Shibuyunji district, my Bululu, Mitch, in that order, shall we?
Yeah.
Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Chanda Chilufia, broadcasting live from Ontario, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking your busy schedule to attend this beautiful podcast so that we can dissect the trending topics of the week, of course. And there's a lot that we need to discuss and dissect. Ladies and gentlemen, without even wasting everybody's time, I would pass it on to Lady Sarah so that we get the show on the road.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm in United States of America in Washington State. I'm talking to you from Seattle. Thank you so much, and this is Happy Sunday, and have a blessed day.
Mkwai bonse mwaiseni nde namiteerera okufuma kuno ku Stratford upon Avon ku England kweganani na kuzaje bino zindi ndakhala kwa mazuva manjanji so apa manje nakondwera kuti nibwere mu programu iyi tichezerane twambaulekapo tumagani onse luwatakubulela mazazi ne mazazi namisengera bonse mwaiseni. You are all welcome. And incidentally, this is 18:20 hours, 20 minutes after 6 o'clock. Napela.
You forgot something, bro.
You can remind me?
The
English.
city of the poet. What's the name of that poet?
It's Stratford upon Avon,
Okay, that's all.
the birthplace for William Shakespeare, that famous poet.
But I have a seat to shut up our land upon William.
Kaidi, you know, awe, awe. Nini sumino olubuli kutwalwa tapali kisopie.
Vakalinda yosose. Go again. Ababatupeshana efitundu nanokoche baishime efitundu nalena laposha bakumunsi.
Luwenu kutana sikanya. Mshel kulebo na
How
sikanya
much
ine.
is amo? If you don't do so
Tapali
much, nalena laposha
tapali na sikanya.
tondolo. Mutinga yeshima weno ku northwestern ngachilivo sena muchili ebibonse mulishani mwebena nkana mweba kuila mboko mulivuti bakumazabuka hande.
Songa nalanda timwakopera national fyanya. Awe mwandini.
Awo ni kopera chachi.
Okay. All right,
Chachufika
let's move
wino.
on to the next person.
Congratulations.
You two again. It's you two again. So let's move on.
Tuliwamu group 3.
Who's the next person? Wasn't that Mr. Tumba Mukonda? Is he on here with us? Or he just came in to spy on the show? Should we say that? Kidding. Okay, my bro Mitch, come on in here. Oh, Mitch is watching Liverpool. You see, I wasn't the only one, so I just I mean, let's just start the show. I mean, let me start by just saying my 1,000 apologies. I mean, everybody was waiting for me. I forgot. Sunday sometimes. I lose track of time. So, shall we get on the hot topics that we have today, without wasting people's time? And there's no other than the story of one Tassila Lungu, SEC Director General. What was Mr. Piri came out last week saying that she had gone missing. She wasn't responding to any of their communications. They wanted her so they could wrap up their investigations on her. And anyway, we all thought. I mean, for me, I thought. I mean, I would like to say, unless somebody sues me, Tassila, but yeah, bring your dollar, sue me. I'd like to say she fled the country. On the on the guise of coming to America to deliver. I mean, it's been how many months now? Over 6 months. I mean, how much maternity leave does Zambia give? 6 months? 3 months? 4 years? Somebody. Anyway, I'd like to say she fled the country because she doesn't want to answer those allegations. But as of this morning, because we posted those topics last night, as of this morning, she came back on Facebook and said she hasn't fled, and that she did write to Parliament of her whereabouts, and she is eager to come back home to answer to those charges. Gentlemen, I said she fled. Let's start. Who wants to go first? I'm going to open up. Okay, I guess let's start with Mr. Marsha, and then we'll go to Lady Sarah, but Lufia, in that order.
I I have a lot of cousins. I have a lot of cousins who are daughters and sons to very, very, very influential people in society. I'm not bragging. One of them are the Chonas, the daughter and sons to the late Mainza Chona. First vice president, everything that he did in government. There's one thing that stands out. They are humble, down to earth. Nothing like, no, because our father was this, our father was that. They are just, they have what fits them. They don't have any excess baggage. They are children, but the children of former ECL, God forbid, their assets do not match their income which they are gained. We are all working very hard and at the same time paying taxes. Bachanda, can you manage to buy that farm?
That's impossible.
Come on.
That's that's that's
Where
that's a
where
that,
where do
that's
they
a
get the
huge
money?
property. That's a
Where do they
huge property.
where do they get the money from?
I said that
Look,
their father
no,
gift from their dad.
no.
Apparently, they have a
Look,
very rich dad.
let me explain this. The late Mr. Mainza Chona was my uncle.
Mm.
He left his children with something, not everything. They have a decent house, decent accommodation, very mild, very mild. Look at the Kaunda children, very mild. Look at the Sata children, very mild.
Mm.
No mbaba bashalava.
Mm. Mm.
No, no. It just puts me off. It puts me off. Look at do we hear anything about Grey Zulu's children?
No,
Nothing.
no.
Do we hear anything maybe about Chilua's children except Bariaba Chale Umfabaria, but they are,
Mm.
I mean,
You see, that's where the
Mwanawasa's
point is.
children,
Mm.
Mwanawasa's
Mm.
children, what
Mm.
is it that these leaders are teaching their children, their wives, when they are in office? Do they teach them to say, if you have any, don't? Because
Mm,
You see, you can accept a gift, but dad, where is this coming from? It's not too
mm,
much for me. There will be a day when dad will not be around. How are you going to explain it? Right
mm,
now, dad is not in power. The daughter is in trouble.
mm,
She's she's running away. She says she has been maintaining contact with her constituents through WhatsApp and whatever, but it's not enough. In parliament, the Chawama people are not represented. The role of democracy is representation at all levels, legislature, executive, but it's not happening for the Chawama people. She has basically fled. Yeah, she could have come up with that write up on Facebook this morning, but all this time, where has she been?
mm,
Hmm? Even us who are here, we have children, let's give them a decent wealth, something that they can freely move with. If it's a Toyota Corolla, they should drive it with peace of mind, not GX Letina by Interpol. Come on, what's this? Let's let's be civilized even in the manner that we acquire wealth.
mm,
That's too much, too much. Wealth which a cabinet minister cannot even have, someone who's been working. Wealth which serious businessmen don't have. Thousands and thousands of hectares.
mm.
Hmm.
So,
And then,
just on
yes,
that, just
In conclusion,
I have concluded.
all right, let's bring in Lady Sarah. That's a moment. Lady Sarah, where is Tasila Lungu?
Oh, sorry. Was that my turn now or somebody else's?
Lady
This
Sarah.
is strong.
Lady Sarah's turn.
Okay, sorry. I'm coming up later. I'm around.
Okay. Lady Sarah, where is Tasila Lungu in this vast country of the
I think
United
let the
States?
doctor go on. Let the Dr. Chikonka go on.
All right, Doc. Chikonka,
I'll
come on
come
in.
later.
Doc. Oh, I guess it's back.
Okay, yeah.
Doc, where is Tasila Lungu in this vast country of America? Where is she? For the ACC to send an SOS on her whereabouts. I think we've lost him again.
Okay, can I go on then?
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
yeah, so for me, I don't know what happened for even Priscilla Lungu if she had the case to answer to allow her to leave the country. It's like kubuta, you know? It's like mlebuta, when you are ACC, it's like mlebuta. And you find that somebody with a small case of just, stolen phone, Bahamukaka, no bail, no white until I court. But these people who still big, they're like bad quarter immunity. So me, I blame the system. That's what I blame. The system. I was listening to my friend there, my cousin, that wealthy, blah 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 blah. These people, they know how to steal. And for the people like ECL, I mean, we know where he came from. Even if you are the president, how do you acquire such kind of wealth? Huh? Wasunina kona abana bobe na bena abana bobe bale even more. And then you know ACC, ero mwaikala yo, Tasila now we are sending SOS to help us because the system is rotten, the system is corrupt. If I may ask those who were born maybe before me or during my time when I was born, because in Lepanonja I'm old enough to know. I've never heard anybody over ACC at Bamukakaba. No. Very few who are in prison right now because by ACC did ABC. Usually these people they are out. So corruption is everywhere, including by ACC. Because if somebody's got a case to answer, how do you allow them to leave the country and you start chasing them? Eh? That's foolishness. That's what I can say. It's like it's a game. They know what they are doing. Thank you.
Right, Sarah. I mean, your submission is very valid, but there's this counter question that I have about. You know how the opposition have consistently been saying, "Oh, we are living under a dictator." Only the opposition are being followed in this in these corruption cases, and in the case of Tassila, she presented the medical documentation stating she was coming to America to see her doctor to give birth. So if they had stopped her from traveling on medical grounds and then something happened to her, then what? Let's now turn our
Can I
attention
answer
to.
on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, giving birth, even in Zambia, you can give birth. How many people have given
Bassett.
birth? No, 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 no. I just want to say that, okay, number one, even in Zambia, somebody can give birth. She wants that child to be an American. That's all. The other thing is that if they allowed her to come and give birth, has she given birth?
We don't
If
know.
she,
I mean, I didn't
yeah,
even
so
see
if
the
they
pregnancy.
don't know,
I didn't even see the pregnancy.
if they don't know, sorry, if they don't know that she has already given birth, how many months can someone stay away after giving birth? So why are they pangechongo by ACC? Why just stress? Why are they stressing us? Vali mupera permission. They should leave her alone then until such a time that she goes back. And how many months did they give her? So they should not be stressing the people. We are busy, looking at ways and means of campaigning for our president. Not very panga the stress here. Oh, Tasira, Tasira. Now the world do everything in Zambia. Tasira, Tasira, Tasira. Meanwhile, they gave her permission. Please keep quiet, YSCC, and wait for her to give birth, and then you talk about it.
Doc, Zigonga, please come in on the question: is Tassilo Lungwe a fugitive?
Well, it depends on how you want to translate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna 100% side with Sarah with a lot of caveat to that. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. I think our system is really bad. First of all, let's talk about the question you asked about the farm acquisition of however many hectares she had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We are going to assume that somebody must have signed those documents, give her legal ownership of that kind of area, but without raising any concern at the time. That is a problem right there. And you know how these problems, in my opinion, how they grow? They grow exactly what we're trying to do here. I read an article a couple of days ago about Hakainde Hichilema's portrait to be changed to some things, whatever it is. I find that completely outrageous. I think it's ridiculous. I think this is exactly how you make monsters out of good people. There is absolutely no reason to do that. And it starts off from things like that. When ACL was elevated to a level of worship, all his congregates who are like PF cadres were worshiping him. The system was worshiping him all the way through. They allowed things such as that to happen. And it starts off there. There should be one individual resident that can rise up and say, hey, I think this is inappropriate. We cannot allocate this much land to one individual. And how possible is it that it's going to just be a clean title to something such as this? One person. From which money? From what kind of resources does she have to acquire something like this? So the system itself allows it, because the system itself is just a matter of somebody signing because of their, they have loyalty to some leadership, and it goes on and on and on, and becomes a legal entity. Believe it or not, if Tassila finds a good lawyer, she will definitely be awarded that land if at all it was acquired through means of legality. If there's any legal thing that she actually did pay on that, she will be given that, and it will be hers forever. And we have nothing to say. And the ACC and the it is true. How many people have really been spending time or been jailed for anything as arrested by the SEC? SEC is a joke, complete joke, and it starts off from systems like this. So I don't know. As far as Tassila being a fugitive, I think she's definitely going to use the system. The system allows an indefinite leave for some kind, depends on however you ask for, however much absence you ask for. I've seen people coming from Zambia and come here and still practice to work, and when yet they're still on government payroll in Zambia for years. Some of them are relatives, and we know that. But that's exactly what happens. If the system allows it, she's fine. She's not a fugitive. She doesn't have to tell everybody, the whole country, where she is. All she can tell is the people that matter, her job. If SEC wants to find her, they can communicate with her through the emails or whatever. If they want to see her in person, she can call them from whatever means she can and say, I'm not available. Or her lawyer will do any of that. And it's legal for all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what to say about that. All I can say is that I don't know if she's a fugitive or not. But sadly, the system allows the whole process to go.
Right. So it sounds like the consensus is SEC is a joke.
Yes.
Okay.
Clearly. I think they're just trying to sound alarm to show like as if they are working. The truth of the matter is that they don't have systems that actually hold people down. Like Wasera said, you cannot leave the country if you have a legal case in court and you are required to be actually, because you're kind of on a bail of some kind. She knew that. So they by some means she should have said, hey, SEC, I'll be leaving the country and going to this address. And it's up to them to either allow that or not.
But she claims to be in communication with the parliament, who she thinks she's employed by parliament, of course.
Well, of course, but she can communicate with that. But if the SEC already had a case in process and she knew that the case is under investigation, she was liable to reporting to them and say, I will be leaving the country. Can I have some kind of parole or something, whatever?
So can I play a devil's advocate here? Okay, let me just play a devil's advocate. So, I mean, she went to ACC, got that permission, and left. Yeah, she must have given them, an email, a contact phone number, and 2 months down the road, she's not responding to that email or phone number. Let me bring in the man who may have a little more than what I'm advocating here. Right, Chilufia. Your take. Is Tarsila Lungu a fugitive, or she's just playing the system?
Well, the system, of course, it's broken. That's for a fact. We've known all this time, all these years, that the system is broken. But if it was a perfect world, what would normally happen is if somebody is under investigations, all right, what they normally do, if they see that this person is a flight risk, they will tell you, don't go anywhere, don't travel anywhere. In most cases, they will even confiscate your passport, whereby in case you need to travel, you have to seek special permission. Now, in this case, it looked like she just packed the bags and left. And I highly doubt it if she even reported to the ACCA to say, oh, I'll be leaving the country. Because according to the information or who's this, the ACC director was saying, he was saying like, they've got no idea where she is. So if they have no idea where she is, it means she just left without informing them. Okay, now why in the first place would they allow that to happen? Because they would have seized her passport and gave her instructions to say, we'll be needing you for further questioning. So don't leave the country, don't leave the town. We need to find you. We need to know where you are, and we need to find you in case we need to call you up for further questioning. But because of about Pamwambas, like everybody's saying, they are always treated with kid gloves. And this is a very serious case because that farm has been actually in discussion for years. And the main big other question that people are forgetting is that farm has Mukula on it. That farm has Mukula. That's where the biggest investment is. Most people, they're not talking about it, but there is Mukula there. That's why she had to fence the whole thing. That place is huge. It's fenced. Now, where did she
619
get the
hectares.
money to fence off a huge farm like that? You see? Because she knew the people, the local people were going there. You know how it is there. The local people, they're going there to cut the trees because they don't really know what kind of tree this is. So she had to take it upon herself to fence it off. Now it's her property. And she's saying that it was a gift from daddy. Now, even daddy himself, when you went to on the BBC interview, he said he made his money through being a lawyer. So there's no question about where he got his money. He had money. So because he was a staunch lawyer, well-known lawyer, he had a lot of money. So I'm sure he can afford to gift the daughter a piece of land like that. Now that's very questionable. That's a story
Are
of
you being
another day.
sarcastic right now, Baxter? You
Yes, I
and
am.
I know
So
that. I mean,
so
let's just
uh,
correct it. You and I know that
yeah
Lalungu had 10 kwacha in his pocket when he declared. In
uh,
2016. I mean, let's be honest with our
yeah.
people here. Go
So
ahead.
like I was saying, and I think I'm going to go back to what I said a few weeks ago when it came to leaders and what they earn and all that stuff. Winter Kavimba is on record to say it's impossible on a salary of a member of parliament to build a two-story mansion. Okay, that's about Winter Kavimba's own words. So now you can imagine this is a person who has worked in so many governments. Okay. Now Tasila Lungu has only been an MP for Chawama for what? Okay. For as long as she has been, but how can she amass such kind of wealth all of a sudden? Even the president himself, how did he amass those kind of wealth? That's why even what Shimakambwe was questioning to say, Lungu afunya kuiso rupia pape ne anonka shani. Prepo kuishiba. Hmm? Because ikamoto kalensha atikale ofunya ne chush. Yeah, Shimakambwe was so funny. So most politicians know him, know his background. And we all know that he didn't make his money through being a lawyer. So where did that money come from? That's a big question that every Zambian needs to entertain or ask, because there's something fishy going on here. I smell a rat. But Robena Tasila, is she a fugitive? If SCC say we're looking for you, they don't know where she is, then she's declared a fugitive. But the big question is, why did they allow her to leave the country in the first place? Okay, that's what it is. Like, why did they make that happen? Like, why? And I can assure, I don't think she's going to come back. She's not coming back. Now, for my feeling, guys, them you think.
Well,
I, I,
let's bring in uh Chitumba Simukonda. Hopefully he is able to talk now. Chitumba, are you with us? You can unmute yourself, sir. You have an just unmute your button there. Okay, maybe he's not ready. Hanifa is my girl. She's just listening in. So anyway, so Tassila is Tassila a fugitive or not? I don't know. I'm not gonna comment. The only thing I'm going to say, yes, they're saying okay, everything that we've amassed came from our father. This is a father who had two kwacha in his pocket when he initially ran. This is a father who, and these are things I'm not making this up. This is a father who misapplied somebody's money when he was a top-notch lawyer to a point where the law association took away his license, disbarred him. So if he was a top-notch lawyer, he needs to tell us where he got all these monies from. 70 luxurious cars for his son. multi-million-dollar homes everywhere across the city, $400,000 cash presents to his nieces. I just, oh, it's just mind-boggling to me that, I mean, everybody else has been saying, well, the ACC, they shouldn't have allowed it. That I think these are people that know weaknesses in the law, and they're using that law to do whatever they want, and
Yeah,
make sure.
Rakalinda.
Yes.
Rakalinda, as much as we are here talking about this, this thing of Tasila and everything, it's very painful. I'm listening to you guys. I'm listening to everybody talking. My mind is going far back. Even if I'm not this Mrs. Banda, Mrs. Rupia Banda. What's her name again? I have forgotten her name.
Tapiwa, Temwani, something like that. Tamara.
I don't know. Yeah, okay. The widow to the late president, the former president, Mr. Rupia Banda. There was a case that came up with the flats, owning flats. I don't know if you
Tandiwe.
people.
Tandiwe, yeah,
Tandiwe.
that's the one.
I don't know if you remember that. Where has that case gone to? Has ACC come back to you and say, oh, we concluded these are okay and whatever? Did they ever do that? This is the thing that hates me and that pains most of the Zambians. It's like we worship these people who injure our emotions, our well-being. We worship them, we celebrate them by talking about them, by ACC. This ACC is a rubbish thing. It's a useless, useless, very useless
Tooth,
institution.
toothless. Toothless. Say toothless.
Useless.
Toothless.
Awe. Baba kwa no, itofini.
Malanda.
There is no way we get these cases. Oh, we are following this one who SCC has done ABCD. All of a sudden it goes quiet. So they should also tell us that Tandiwe flats. Remember that case which they started following. Oh, Tandiwe
Wasn't
flats
she
and
cleared though? Tandiwa was cleared, I think.
whatever. How did she acquire? If you people are talking about Tasila, how is the other people acquiring those things?
She was cleared, Lady
You know,
Sarah.
can I chip in, Ramtinta? Numbers,
Yes.
numbers don't lie. How many cases did Lungu win in court for him to be a top-notch lawyer, which can make him earn money and money and money? How many cases did he win in court?
Zero.
Especially after he was deregistered by Laz.
Zero.
Well, hold on a second. I don't think we are wasting. We are going too far. Lungu does not have to have won a case to have money as a lawyer in Zambia. Zambian lawyers, most of them are not good at all. Yes, there are those with names, like standing up names that they've been operating for a long time. A lot of these other lawyers, they do
Uh-huh.
dubious stuff, stealing
Uh-huh.
money from customers.
Uh-huh.
All these foreign Indians and stuff. People, they get all this much. They get so rich, and you wonder
Hammer.
how they get the money from. They don't have to win an actual case to show that they have money. They could
Hammer.
just really con anybody and somebody will give him money. That's how it works. So I don't think we should really be looking at his record as far as his wins and his successes based on one
Cases.
cases whatsoever. I think
Mm.
it's just being a lawyer itself, just in the name of it in Zambia, can win you a lot
Uh-huh.
of money because somebody can just literally put their life into you and inject all this much money. Don't forget, this is the time when all these mines were coming up in Solwezi and other places, all these little miners from South Africa and other people coming in and they're looking for lawyers for paperwork and stuff like that. These people were given so much money. That is possible. That's a possibility. But is that really real that he got the money? We don't know. But the truth of the matter is that I think if we start looking at the successes of, this lawyer is successful because he won so many
Uh-huh.
cases, this lawyer is not
Uh-huh.
successful, I think we never accomplish anything.
All
Hammer.
right. Shall we move on to the next topic? I think we're done here,
Yes.
aren't we? Let's move on to the socialist leader, Freddie Membe, or Dr. Freddie Membe. Let's give him his kudos. He was at a mountain hill this week accusing the government of training a militia after they announced that they were going to use ZNSA, Zambian National Service, ZNS. Oh God, let's put that correctly. Invite and these kids that are on for a job to train for life supporting skills like plumbing, electricals and farming and all that under the ZNS umbrella. So after that announcement, of course, Fred Membe went into a frenzy accusing the government of training a militia. Who wants to tackle that first? Shall we start with you?
Can I start?
Go ahead, Mr. Mom. Yeah.
Is this Fred guy not facing a seditious charge practice in court?
Are we going to start from there?
Yeah, we can start from there because he has no proof that there's some people being trained somewhere to come and do whatever they want to do. I think the level of alertness, the level of information that he wants to arouse in a nation at a time like this one is wrong, because he hasn't got evidence. He's just talking from without. A militia. It's not possible. It's not possible. And opposition in Zambia now has just got to look at such things. That's what makes them tick. You just raise an issue that borders on national security, then they think you have become marketable. Opposition should talk about what they will do for the country. Not
sorry, just 1 minute. Kalinda Wakazia wants to join. I think he's in the background or something. Oh, okay, there he is. All right, continue, Amash.
You see, politicians should not raise issues that border on the security of the nation. If they are in opposition, they should give us an alternative. They should have shadow minister, shadow what, who are busy giving direction where they think the government is not having a direction. That's the role of opposition, to give us alternative so that when it comes to 2026, we shall be able to have a choice. Oh, no, I think this one can do better. Now, 2026, we should be looking at it. Oh, Membe, what did Membe say? No, is the government is training a militia. By then, there will be nothing of that kind. Opposition, please, may they get to their real business. I yield.
Right. Dr. Jubonka, do you agree with sentiments raised by...
No, I think, Membe, honestly, I don't even know why he thinks he should continue talking. That man is just trying to seek relevance. That man is so irrelevant on the political scene in Zambia that I think him making so much noise, anything that's sensitive, like he says, the gentleman before me said, he wants to be relevant. He wants to create something that seems like, oh, maybe he's spearheading this. The same thing, him and Mwamba are in the same likes. These are just like so lost souls that they don't know what they want to be. They don't know what they want to come out to be. They just want to be relevant to the political scene. It's just noise making. I think most Zambians, he'll be lucky that anybody will buy into all those kinds of statements. It's not true. That's not going to happen.
Right. Lady Sarah.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
Toku, don't laugh. Toku.
I'm laughing at Dr. Spock. They just want to. It's good what the doctor has just said. You know? Whatever I remember, you know when you are chula do you hear the sound?
Oh yeah.
Why should I fly? Who does that? And who tells him that church can do such a thing? That man loves his people. He can't go on and start militia. Kwisa, eh? It's them with militia. Yeah. So I think that man is sick.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with
Well,
you.
I
I
agree
agree
with
with
you.
you.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, but look, you're coming before we go to before we go to the resident PSP.
Welcome, welcome, resident PS.
Welcome, resident. Yes.
We got an echo.
We got an echo.
I don't know. Vakalis, I don't know if
Uh,
it's you.
no, it's not me. I'm all quiet
Okay.
here.
So, yeah, like, like everybody's saying, look, I think we need to revisit or look at the quality of leadership in Zambia right now. That's why, most people in certain circles are saying there is no real opposition as we speak, because opposition leaders like Fred Membe, they should come up with alternatives, real ideas, not just condemning all the time, thinking of things like who or which leader would come up with such an allegation. I mean, that's a serious allegation. I mean, you mean he's saying that the current government is trying to? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. For even people that are the Zambian people, even the ordinary Zambian, they're like, how does ZNS reintroducing ZNS, a program that was initiated in the Kaunda UNIP days? As we just used to hear about it, we see most of our parents went through ZNS system. Okay, if they would tell you that, look, immediately you graduate high school, they'll take you to ZNS instead of you being on the streets. That's why even those days there went so many street kids, and there went so many junkies and all these fine individuals, because people, they had no time. Immediately from high school, you go to ZNS. ZNS, there they go to train you, and you learn discipline. And most people that went through the ZNS program are disciplined individuals. Now, what's wrong with bringing up such kind of a program? Instead of Fred Membe applauding HH to say, wow, this is a good idea, you're introducing this program. It's a good idea. It's going to help the young youth. There's a lot of kids, young youth, when they graduate high school, they're just on the streets. These are the ones that end up being junkies, and these are the ones end up, committing all these crimes in the neighborhoods. So to avoid all that, this is a very good move forward. I mean, it's a very good move for the current government. But when Fred Membe, that is a very, 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 I don't even know the words to use here. It's very unprofessional of him. Very, very undemocratic. And as a matter of fact, they're the ones actually that believe in the so-called socialism.
Yes.
They follow the system. Yeah, Cuba and all that stuff. Those are the ones that build militias.
Yes.
Those are the ones that build militias, not this the UPND government. We don't believe in those things. So because him in his mind, he's thinking, if it was me, this is what I would be doing. He's thinking that's what the church is doing. No. 2 miles apart. I mean, the president is not even thinking of that. He's thinking about the Zambian youth. How can we help these youth? How can we make sure that the youth, have, some sort of something to fall on when they graduate high school, instead of just being in the streets.
Ujiri.
You see?
That statement was unpresidential, in fact, very unpresidential.
And that's
Doesn't.
why that's why we it's not a secret why he's doing poorly on the political scene. It's
Yes.
because of such statements. And such thinking. You need to
My
think.
goodness.
Hello, people.
Shall we bring in the man who's been having difficulties to getting to the studios today? So I just discovered what the issue is. Mr. Kazia has too many browsers up. He doesn't know which one to click on.
No, I was trying. Whatever I tried, it didn't work until I got to this one.
I
But
told you
then
to
I
clear your
listened
cache
in a
and
little bit.
cookies, Mr. Resident PS. Clear your
Hello.
cache and cookies.
Yes, but I listened to it a little bit. Then I got bumped off. So I guess you are discussing the issues to do with the youth, isn't it?
Membe. Membe is accusing the government of training a militia because
Mm-hmm.
they have invited the applicants to sign up for the compulsory what do they call it, military
The ZNS. The
ZNS.
introduction of ZNS.
The questions that I have is that is it compulsory? Is it voluntary?
I think
It's voluntary.
it's
If
voluntary.
it's
I said
So
voluntary,
compulsory. I
it's
apologize.
voluntary for now.
okay. If it's voluntary, how is it structured in terms of recruitment? What kind of training are they going to receive?
The same training that people who go to ZNS train. They train you military, basic military skills. They train you different things. Can go
Survival
into
skills.
carpentry.
So in short, these
There's-
are not civilians, isn't it?
What do you mean they're not civilian?
Because ZNS is not
What
civilian.
is ZNS? First of all, what is ZNS?
Zambia National Service. And
Eh,
in Zambia National Service, if you see, it falls under the category of security wings. It doesn't
yes.
fall under civilian wings. That's why even in employment, they are exempt in terms of what you can apply on them. You know, in terms of even industrial relations, they are exempt. So the question is that if these people are going to have military training, which means they will cease to be civilians, isn't it?
Yes.
That is
Well,
where the problem. That is where the problem is. How
no,
do you-
but how is it a problem, Machina? Look.
yeah, that's what I'm trying. If you let me finish and explain,
Okay,
then you
go ahead.
can probably benefit, or maybe you can provide further clarity. The
Okay.
question that I have is, if this is a civilian wing of ZNS, I don't have a problem because it's a civilian wing. If it's a military wing, that is going, the volunteers are going to have military training, then I have a problem. Because the civilian wing is, I think, what I was thinking it is, where these people are going to be only trained in civilian things. For instance, maybe agriculture, trades, and stuff like that. Those are things that are trained in, but not in military tactics. Because
These are civilians.
no, but according to what I've been told, what the response was from what, and unless now there's a contrary guidance that these people will receive military training, because everything that ZNS goes through, if this is what they are all going to go through, that is a serious concern for the people that may have
Our
issues.
beloved
Okay.
resident.
So
Yes, this is a civilian wing of ZNS.
no, it's not me who said they are
Military at
military.
all.
Okay. Okay. Let me qualify my statement.
Wakalinda.
Yes.
It's not me who said. I just posed the question. What kind of training are these people going to have? Does it involve everything that ZNS trains in terms of even handling guns and stuff like that? What is the curriculum for this group of ZNS?
Can I chip in, please?
And I answered you. So let me answer you again. I answered you because
Let
I'm
me
the one
chip
that
in.
One person at a
you
time,
asked
gentlemen.
me.
One person at a
Yeah.
time.
So he asked
Sylvia,
me.
answer him, and then in the back
Yeah.
of that, let's have Mr. Mami tag along. 30 seconds each.
So Rakazia, I said basic military training. We all know that ZNS training here, it's not the same here to Zambia Army. It's not the same with the Zambia Air Force. Okay, and there's no way you can join the ZNS without having basic military training. Nishte ZNS. So basic military training, and on top of that, Mukalasa and Bidama trade skills from carpentry to all these other things. They will teach you all those things. Now, if people are thinking too much, I think the problem is abantu bale tontonkanya sana. Okay? Because me, as far as I'm concerned, most people they would say ZNS is the easiest training compared to Zambia Army and all these other, because those specifically it's a real military training.
Vatanda, the challenge
Okay?
that may be there is that when you say basic, you have not defined it.
I
Say
can
this
define
is
it.
now where the
No, no, no.
basic training ends.
Mule tontonkanya sana.
Ukutontonga sana tabalisha. Because the
Uh-huh.
reality
This is
is
pretty
Mhm.
easy and straightforward.
Modern Vatanda.
Huh?
Even where you think they don't sana, maybe my basic of my thinking too much. You understand? So don't
All right, so
Well,
Can I
let
come
me
in?
chime in for a
let's
second.
hear once again.
Nomba mwatapo kukula jitanda nikare nomba.
because you see,
Can I
Kukula
come in?
mbele shamu.
then they
Can I come in?
questions up. And I push a question what level of training? If you say basic, what
Yeah.
constitutes basic? How
Can
are
I?
you going to have people that you're going to bring in as volunteers,
Uh-huh.
non-paid? What is the benefit? What's the end resultant of it? Is it that they're going to be given a job, or this is going to be non-paid? So there are questions that must be answered, not to say, oh, I'm not talking about questions. Oh, question about volunteers for how long? Because there are also laws that regulate volunteerism in Zambia. You know,
So,
apprenticeship.
so let me just say something here real quick. I think the main issue is about volunteering and drafting. So in the old days, I believe I wasn't born at the time, but I know that most of my older brothers did go to Zambia National Service. I think they were drafted as soon as you graduated from 5. You are going to national service. Okay, now we stop. That was a national requirement for
Yes,
young people to go
yes,
there. They
yes,
learn skills, teaching,
yes, yes,
bricklaying, and
yes,
carpentry, whatsoever.
yes.
On top of that, there was a component of military training. That was all for national security reasons. Just in case they can draft you to say, hey, there's a commotion in town, but national service will be the first one to go before Zambia Army and blah, blah, blah. That was then. Now they say there's no drafting. Right now, what we have is they want to classify it as a voluntary issue. So, people should volunteer to go to the national service. It's not a requirement anymore. However, when they go there, the basic training that they receive will have a component of military training. And
Yeah.
military training, the whole idea of it is as for reasons of discipline and I think more like like discipline is military people are completely different from
Character
regular
building.
folks. So once
Character building.
they really need to go there, they teach them basic life skills, which includes discipline itself. That is part of the military component. So
Yes.
that's my understanding of this whole thing. It's not like
Can I?
they'll be tearing off and just because they're volunteers in Gabaf Makulia, they'll go on the street back and become militias. I don't think so.
Can I come
I
in
think
now?
it seems to me like that the idea is that soon as they come from there, most of them will probably be in gainful employment in some way.
Can I join the queue now?
Some way, either they'll be hired by people that are doing like construction or other things like that,
Yeah,
or through the
yeah,
government
yeah,
systems or other
yeah,
than that.
yeah. And you see, one of the things that is also very true is that others can be criminals, and we cannot stop that from happening.
Well, but you can censor them out. I mean,
Yes,
you know that
but
volunteers will go there and say no, not you, not that. But you have to have some basic ways.
that is why the questions arise to say, how are they going to be recruited? What curriculum are they following? How are they going to be integrated in the community thereafter? What kind of skills are they going to play? If we identify the industries that they are going to run or jump into immediately after the volunteer, because
now.
you have to also understand that when a military mindset operates different once it is skewed in that way. That one you have to understand. That is why people become say, oh, is it a civilian component and also civilian military component? That's why even in the way the ZNS and the ZAF and everyone is structured, there is a civilian component and a military component. The
Yes.
civilian component actually are even unionized, by the way. They are
They call them
giving
combat.
yes,
Combat is different, like
yes.
regular.
That's what I'm saying. That if you
Yeah.
look at what they've done, even right now, even ZNS, Zambia police, there is those that are trained in military systems are treated differently because I can be employed as a teacher and I go to ZNS school and teach. I have nothing to do with whatever they are doing, but I'm a teacher within the barracks. So there's a difference also that if I've military been trained and then I go back to teach, these are two different systems that are at play. So the questions that are arising is that they must be answered. Now the problem comes that if the questions are asked and they are not answered, instead, then the people that are asking questions are the ones we go and beat to say, "Oh, you are saying this, you are saying that." No, I am not talking about him. I'm not a politician
All
to talk
right,
about the
let
military. No,
Mr. Masha
it's
answer
the
you now.
questions.
Let me answer Bachandakazia. Today, I'm speaking the same language with the Bachandakazia. Way back in the 70s and early 80s, we used to have a lot of armed gang robbers.
Yes.
Those were products of what was seriously defunct national service training. From those people that used to go for training, when they come out of that training, it's like they had nowhere to go after that. So they ended up becoming big time gang robbers. That will not happen again. This time around, the training for these voluntary, for those that will volunteer to go to Zambia National Service, will be based to will be the training will be basically, if it's military, it will be rudimentary, it will be basic, just how to salute. They have to speak the same language in a barrack. You see, they will be dealing with other serviced people, other uniformed staff. There has to be that unison. They need to be engaged in some culture of how things are done. They will produce maize, which they offload to ZNS Eagle Milling. For your own information, I was very surprised. I went to East Park Mall. Ask me one of the shops I found there and what they are doing. You won't believe me. They make very good suits. I'm told it's a department of the Defense Forces, ZAF, ZAF, Army, National Service. They have come together to make a shop where they sew very good clothes and sell to the public. And they sell them just at East Park Mall. If we can have people, these same volunteers trained under some skills like sewing, they can go and do their business there.
That's
They
exactly
can
what
make,
they're trying to do, actually. Those are
yes,
the things that they're trying to expand on. So we can
those are
stop
the things.
importing stuff. Yeah. That's the
Correct,
whole idea.
correct. And you see, if we have these ZNS just as volunteers, we are going to solve a very big problem. Sometimes the youths that graduate from schools, being a teacher, they get easily frustrated and fed up. They go into beer drinking. Ngavana Kashi, they just become Amaule. Come, we need to run away from that. Let's have something that keeps them busy. If they're not kept busy, there must be something that molds their character building. You know, a nation without character is lost, especially if the youth will not have any character building at a formative age of just completing school. Yes, you're going to employ them. Just a minute. You're going to employ them, but they won't
What you are
deliver.
doing, what we
Uh-huh.
in terms of entrepreneurship skills and stuff like that. But it is a
Yes.
question of keeping the people that are criticizing the program informed and bring them back to the conversation.
Uh-huh.
You see, when people criticize a program, the role of government is to bring them to a conversation. Even if they accuse you wrongly, but hey, you don't go bash them. Bring them to say, okay, it's a woman if to each tapa. Do you see anything that is pointing to you that Mama Lisa to reach that rate? Now, if you don't bring them to the conversation and you tell them to say, no, we are not training them,
You see, this thing is just like
you miss the point. If you just discard them and thinking that conversation goes away, it does not go away. In fact, it just grows bigger. My experience from working within the tripartite system was ngava union valeta problem. You can't say send them away, bring them to the table. Okay, no pangala manisha. What is making you say that pangala manisha? Because this is a government program. These are the documents we're using. This is the kind of training we're using. So that you remove the baseless kind of accusation. You don't remove baseless accusation by going after them. Say you're very useless. You have no mandate. You have no what. That doesn't go away. If anything, it gets people to dig in their way of thinking. So my view is that this might be a very good program that government wants to do, and maybe they've structured it properly. Let them engage other people, critics of the program, to have this conversation, and then they can reduce the resistance. I submit.
And
Well,
one thing,
I think that's a very valid point.
One more thing, when they were training as ZNS people, those years they were being paid something. I remember my uncle was one of those. They were being paid something every month to keep them, much as they were volunteering. Even these that would be co-opted into the system to volunteer, they will certainly be paid something for kasopo, they will not always be in combat. Sometimes they will need to go home. How do they travel? Volunteering, yes, but they will certainly be paid something. HH is not the kind of person who would just come up with that program to just use the youth for nothing.
All right, let's move on. Progress.
I wanted to hear about Chikonga. But Chikonga seems to have some information, but we kind of.
No, I think because what you said is very, very, very valid. Yeah, it is true that just trying to push people away, that attacking them for their opinion would not get this go away. In fact, it to grow bigger. True. So I think what the government should do, which our government, even our party, has done very little of, is to make sure that they display some of these things that they're doing, some developments. You know, it's very easy. Make a video, make of some kind. Some videographer goes there to the training school and then put it on TV. This is what our people are doing. Mama, once I see that, people say, wait a second, this is a very good thing. You know, you can see future in something like that. But just to be in behind closed doors and doing something and then really true. It will create just another spectacle of issues. I believe what you say is so that's what I think it is.
I believe that the new public relations specialists that have been been hired.
Who is that?
Ministries will do that for us.
Principal public relations officer.
Whatever you call them. To me, they'll always be public relations officers. Anyway, they will do that for us.
Before we move ahead, the big question was Fred Membe's statement, which was very alarming. Asking a question, nobody.
Yeah, you know how Bakazia comes and derails
so
everything.
Nobody is refusing to for questions to be asked.
Look at
but it's the way.
Me, I have said.
He wasn't even asking. He made an accusation. So there's a difference between a question and an accusation.
If this is what my question, my response has been that you see, Dr. Fred Membe must be brought to the conversation. So because that statement is very big, it's something that is not a cheap or small statement. So bring him to the conversation. Show what you are doing. Let's say this is what like what I'm saying. Run even flyers in terms of giving the school. This is what is there. Are we paying the volunteers? Because something like Wamacha is saying, so that even people know what incentives are going to accrue to them. And then also, what legal backing are we using to defend what may come after? Let me tell you one thing, my experience from labor relations on this matter. Because Zambia, they are very quick when you want a job. They can even come and so after 1 year, Bakesa is a trefa payment, trefa terminal benefit. We worked for ZNS for 1 year. Anyway, are you not the people that came to plead that we were ready to do this? Even signing these documents, I said, no, so these are some of the things that must be able to be taken care of. Mapanga checklist, and you make people comfortable about that. That is just my question. But
well, that's all said. I mean, like I think there's no way that, the current government to introduce this program with all those things you're talking about.
If
I'm sure all those things,
the current methodical government
in due time.
The current methodical
government has just been announced.
If they are done, that's fine, but that's what for my point. My point is that you don't need to worry. But in some of those things,
I mean, in all honesty, what the
methodical.
resident PS is saying is valid. So these are some of the concerns. If there are any government institutions, whoever is in charge of listening, please take note of what Mr. Kazia is saying. Those are valid, and hopefully, if you haven't thought about it, you're actually taking note so that we avoid being cursed by women. Remember that woman who cursed the former president, and I'm not gonna go there, but there was that very viral video. That woman was asking for terminal benefits from way back, a couple years ago. So hopefully, like Bakazia is saying, that we have thought about it, and this is a well thought out program that will benefit our people. Shall we move to the next
Let's move.
topic?
Yeah, we can move on. We
Yeah,
can move
we'll
on. We can
spend too
move on.
much time on this. You
We can
guys
move on.
always. Today, I wanna keep it at 2 hours for a reason. The next topic we have on hand is this was mentioned earlier actually, and I did do a survey. Uh, the communique from State House about changing the presidential portrait, it hasn't sat well with most of our business owners. And now, before anybody else answers, I want to tap on Kazia's experience. I've got a couple questions about Kazia. One, these presidential portraits, how many times do we do? I mean, are they on a yearly basis or it's quarterly? School us as a former PS. How does this work? Are we
Okay.
supposed to be getting these presidential portraits every year, every 2 years, or every 3 years?
How you see the thing is that the presidential portrait can change as many times as they wish, but it
Okay.
is not compulsory for the business community. It is not. The business community tap into it voluntarily. They can say, okay, watching the portrait, I like the old one than the current one that you have, and you can put the old one there. But to force them to have it, that is wrong. If for government institutions, all of them, they must have, all of us that were in fact, the moment the president is changed, Africa portrait, every government, they deliver to all government institutions. And we don't buy that. It is delivered from government and you put in the offices to show the symbol of power within the office that you have and to show the person that you pay allegiance to in your execution of duties. But the private sector should never ever be forced to do anything like that. That is wrong. And I'm sure that the Zambia Federation of Employers must be able to speak to it. If they don't, that would be just so wrong. So private sector, no. Government institutions, yes. So it doesn't affect them. They can get it when they want. And most of them can just voluntarily get. Most of them do voluntarily. They will even go and buy one from government printers and stuff like that. But to make it a rule, it will make them resist. So we don't need that. So let the people leave the private sector out of it. Let government actually systems work around that.
Okay, so it sounds like this is much ado about nothing then.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Lady Sarah. She was very passionate about this topic. But Lady Sarah, on this presidential portrait, it sounds like it's a voluntary basis, not a compulsory. Your take.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I'm not going to get worried about the voluntary basis or whatever. But what I want to ask is that how much is going to cost the change of the portrait, and what has made State House want to change the portrait? Is it because Mr. Haka Indechima, the skin has changed, or he had some patches in the old one? What is going
Oh,
on?
there goes
What is
Basara.
wrong with the current
There
one?
goes
Yes.
Basara.
What is wrong with the current one?
Yeah, what's wrong with the current one? What's going on? And how much is it going to cost? And is it necessary? If it's going to cost any money, please don't change. Why should you change? Because Mr. President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, he still looks good. If anything, he's looking older than the old one. So it's better we even keep where he's looking younger.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
So I don't see any value in changing that portrait. For me, it's a no-go area. They should change. The president himself, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, if you are listening to this program, refuse those changes of portrait. You used to talk a lot about, how you maintain your money, how to keep money. Money needs to be kept. Money, how to
Kukoleni
spend
kwavasora
money.
tumfu apo nomba. Kukoleni.
You need to know the value, where you are spending money. Are you gaining? Not you start spending money for nothing, just to my picture in someone's room where people now are looking at it. For what? It's a sheer waste of money. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, you are a handsome president. You don't need to change the portrait. Unless something has gone wrong at even so now or something, but Moneka different, then you can change the portrait at all. Now he's looking different. But he's the same human being that we voted for in 2021. Why do you want to change the portrait? If there is no cost to changing the portrait, that's okay. But if there is a cost, zero. Please don't change the portrait.
The cost is quite huge, by the way. We're talking about every government, every whatever, schools, health. It's a huge cost. It will cost millions.
So why should we use that money? Why should we lose that money over just a picture of a human being that we put in office? But President Hakainde Hichilema refused on this portrait. Who is that one who announced Ifyama portrait, Kanshi? Who is that one?
Secretary to
Place on
cabinet.
her, my son.
Please,
And also secretary to cabinet.
listen. Some of these people, I think Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is not for this. Even when I for change a portrait, feel again, it's your stop. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is not for this. I don't think so. So I'm left for Okula Moneka Kwachirimbi,
Very.
What Mulebo by changing the portrait? Do something else.
Yes, Mr. Nash.
Thank you.
Yes.
Tell us what was wrong with his portrait, because I believe this is not the first time that these presidents are changing portraits. I remember very well FTJ had to change his portrait because when his first picture was captured, his hair was not combed properly. So they looked for another one where his hair was kept combed properly, and it was understandable. But this time around, what is the matter with the old one?
That's why we're asking. We don't know. We don't know.
My
Yes.
brother, I was on the call. I've put it. I'm a supporter of this party, and I've put it on record. Lady Sarah, if Mr. Hakainde Hichilema aleumfwa, ule president wa Republic of Zambia, stop those people abalefo kumipangila portrait. Because there's no need.
What was wrong with the current one? Who knows what was wrong with the old one?
So
now listen, let me say something. Ingabali Pangakale, and they use the money. There are people that ADH, Arthur Davidson Hospital. I nursed one of my niece's baby there, premature ward. Just recently, I'm not bragging. That I have passion for that ward. Do you know how much I sent there? Just little to buy diapers. Anyway, these hospitals, they are suffering. There are children there in Arthur Davidson Hospital who don't have milk. The premature babies. Some people, they pass on when giving birth. Maternal mortality. There is no milk for the baby. The baby is premature. There is no milk. Portrait. Portrait. May God look upon you. And please, he will punish you for that.
All right. No, let's listen to this message from somebody watching us live. Israel Jacobi. He says the portrait will help the government to generate money.
Is it in the budget?
Well, that's what I'm just reading. What our viewer is saying here. He's saying the portrait will help the government generate money,
not spend money.
No, you spend money. You spend money to make money, don't you?
But when they spend money on other things, we can't generate money on a portrait. It's a cost. Work done, but and work
But
done because
Mr.
one of the
Manja, Mr. Manja and the lady said, were you having a conversation before you came on this podcast today? Why are your thoughts aligned
uh-uh,
today, of all days?
I've been
Why are your
eating.
thoughts aligned with
I've been
Bakazia?
eating. I've been itching because it's not just adding up. I wanted to know the basic reason what was wrong with the old one. I've been keeping his portrait. Even in my phone I have it. I want to know, am I keeping what is it? What is wrong about what I have?
Mamata, let me answer you, and let me tell you probably this will put things to rest. There are
Yes.
people that eat off those kind of businesses because they are not cheap. It's a lot of money to change the presidential portrait. And what is worse is when you want to force it on everybody else. You know,
As
you cannot
located.
force that presidential portrait in the private sector. That one is wrong. And if they start doing it, they have to be abusive of the process. But
Correct.
because people are eating out of it, like Wasera is saying, the president has no input in that thing. But not to portrait my boss because and they find very bad justifications and then they get that from them. He must no power to even refuse it, probably. But if they might have approved it at the time, initial time, have approved this chap. Maybe like I told you to say, presidential policy is very challenging in the way we have been structured.
Bakazia. Bakazia na bamwami. You know, the other thing, you know, when I'm talking, sometimes I get emotional. The other
Yes.
thing, we all know Ale Pangama portrait. This is corruption. Alkwataka printing company.
Yes.
You know, you want to put this and this. Nabariamo. You know, they've just put a price there on the printing company. Bariamo. So this is corruption. The president should be very careful with the people that he's dealing with.
Basera.
No, the three of you have been talking too much. Let's bring in let's bring in other commentators here. Dr. Chikomba, your view on this presidential portrait, good or bad? Okay, let's bring in Bachilufia. You've been too quiet, Bachilufia. What are you doing there? Making a cup of tea?
He's looking for the one who got his photo.
Where's Bachilufia? What?
Photo. Aliwanda tshani. Shani pakumkopa kumina nangwarika. Na mie bensho yo muntu macharanda na konimisho.
Ili actually ya photo a portrait yaka edeyo. I'm a little bit behind. I didn't tap onto that one, and I don't know whether it's really a big deal, whether they change it or not. I don't. To me, I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. Whether they change it or not, to me, I think it doesn't make or break me, or my thoughts won't change on anything. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the portrait, if you don't, but what's the cost? Like, really, like, what are we looking at? Is it going to?
As they are saying, it's in millions.
$1 million.
You have to talk about first of all the entire ministries. Then every office. Quite a presidential portrait. No.
Okay. But you said it's not compulsory.
No, I meant for the private sector.
For the private sector.
Government, public service, including quasi government. Because it's compulsory, they have to. But I'm a private sector where you want to extend the community. In a company, if you become a president, company, and office is wrong. You understand? So compulsory is for public sector, not private. So do not bring in private. It even makes matters worse. So already there are a lot of offices across the country. So those offices, public offices, by virtue of them being public, they have to have that portrait picture in there.
So what was the real announcement? The announcement was like for everywhere, all offices. That's what they said. I'm a little bit behind, like I said, on this one. Like all offices, private or government, everybody should change.
The thing is this, they use the word replaced. In the state where there's the word replaced. So wherever it was, it has to be placed, including your mission there in Canada. Your
Yes,
mission
not
there
only
in
the public sector. Yeah, that is government.
imagine the cost of shipping those pictures. Who bears that cost?
Government.
Okay.
Now, but
Why are
But
you
is this the first time that it's happening though?
oh, I was
They
just
change,
saying,
you see, mostly they change once when you change government. That's why you inaugurate the president. There is a time, I think maybe first of all you remove the portraits for the former president. You remove them.
Uh-huh.
And you work without them, without any portrait until cabinet office delivers.
Mhm.
So for instance, I had how many offices at the ministry? I had over 30, 40 offices there at the ministry. So all those, 3 floors, in each of those offices, there was a presidential portrait, including my office. So that is just one. Then you are talking about all the ministries, all the departments, all the quasi government. If you look, for instance, at the ZRA, each office of ZRA will have to have that portrait. So all those things, it's a huge cost, which must it is not properly thought through, especially considering that what Masera was even saying, that there are more pressing needs for the country than to start looking at the presidential portrait. Right now, UTH doesn't have the beddings. It is one of those things that are there. It has, it is getting bigger and bigger. So some of these things, at Davis Hospital, like this is saying, imagine you spend $2 million or 2 million kwacha to print a presidential portrait, and you buy 2 million kwacha worth of blankets for the hospitals. It makes sense. So these are the things that are there, that it may not look too much, but the impact of the costs that are there are quite astronomical, and they can be aligned with more pressing needs for government rather than.
I'm just trying to be a devil's advocate here. Now, the previous governments, this has never happened before.
To change the presidential portrait, I don't think they changed.
It has never happened before.
I don't remember.
it happened in Silva's
What
government.
has that got to do with now what we are talking about?
Okay.
The previous
However,
government it happened.
Ah,
Are you in competition with the previous government? Please.
no. I just want to make sense out of everything here.
But
I
you
want
see,
to
the next
see.
Why should you compare it to the previous? Is it necessary for you to even talk about the
Yes,
previous
because
government in Abale Chinja portrait?
because
Please.
I've never heard this become an issue before. So if this thing happened before, why wasn't it an issue? Why is
So
it an issue now?
let me give you an example. If somebody ayanyela palukungu lwa muntu, uwakali ati ushabakale na wena balenyela palukungu.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I was explaining something.
If you me, I just
Bachanda,
want to make sense out of
That's a
everything.
very bad comparison, Bachanda.
Bachanda,
The wrong is the wrong. We cannot go back to the previous government. When something
Bachanda,
is wrong, it's wrong. This is wrong. Changing the portrait is wrong.
Okay,
Bachanda.
now Mulan, that it's wrong and you've given reasons. I've heard. You've said no. Would rather divert that money somewhere else where it's probably needed. Okay, but me, I was just thinking to myself. I'm just outside looking in. I like ngo ababambi bafo baleshitefi. Nishtayali olurumbi abantu batampo complain de balechinja portrait.
Ndelondolo, leko na chilanda ku-
Bachanda.
To answer that question,
I said it. Can I answer it? I said it earlier on. In 1991, when FTJ came to power, Wali Mkopa portrait. And that portrait was, like we said, the former for KK was brought down and his was put up. So later on, it was realized that the presidential portrait was not looking presidential. Firstly, his hair was not properly combed for Ndaweni. So there was need to tame that hair, and they had to get another portrait. A cameraman had to stand before him, and then they chose the best, and they made the portrait. His hair was not properly combed, At least that I can understand. But this time around, has it been not combed for HHG? What is wrong with akunkumye miungu nishi?
Maybe the skin has changed. The skin changes.
As long as no one gives me a reason, there's no need to change.
Vasera na Bachanda, listen to this. You see, Bachanda, ama comparisons mufo umulefu kulapa ngayo. These are the things that you see, even now we set up a different way of doing things. But when you have come with a different way of doing things, then you are stuck in the old way. Because let's say the previous governments have changed 3 times. And this one now wants to change. When he was saying that I am not going to do things the way they were doing. And right now, look at what it doesn't make sense in this economy and in this time when you're trying to do a lot for the people. But then you go and do something like that because you're not listen to it.
No, I agree to disagree.
Listen to the people.
All right, shall we move on to the next topic? You guys, let's move on. And I guess the next topic is on what is this? Which as the moderator, I really have no information on this. And this is about let's go with quickly. Let's talk about the civil unrest in Mozambique.
Yeah, we cannot forget to discuss that one. I think as the region.
For me, I have no information. I've glanced over it, but you guys talk about it.
I watched a video. I don't know. It went viral of this woman who I hear was waiting for the ECZ for lack of a better word, ECZ of Mozambique, where they followed her home. I don't know, followed her home, beat her up, and dressed her, and she was just left in a birthday suit because people were not happy with the way elections were handled. Now, from that, we smell
Did you
something.
see her?
Yes.
In the video.
Yes.
You can't circulate that one. I fear. You can't circulate that one. Mulanda. Cyber.
Bakazia muntu mine.
Cyber. So the basic thing is people's displeasure with the results and how they are being handled and how because
in short
there is need for the people's will to be let as it is, not to have it edited. When people vote, they know that we voted rightly. And when you stick for that vote, you bring in your political engineering, you bring in your plan B. It's not just a thing. People know. They know their numbers. There are people on the ground that were collecting numbers. Upon compiling the data they have and what is projected becomes different. So politicians have just got to know this one thing to say. When it is time to leave the stage, please leave it while people are still clapping for you. Now look at that woman, decent woman, beaten and dressed in public, in the streets.
And I saw one where her house was burnt to ashes.
There you go. Quiet Mozambique.
This civil unrest is huge. Just look at the effects of what has happened to all the businesses in Mozambique.
Even our fuel cannot come from there.
Yeah. So Zambia relies on the fuel that comes from the port of it's called Beira, right? Yeah, the port of Beira. Yeah. That's the quickest route.
Because of politicians, politrixians, they are tricksters and bring a lot of problems. bachanda mwe wembeleko na politician fishi batontonkanya bantu n'amazima bali mu
imingalato eshireta ama problems.
It's just bad. You
Bamata
can't do that imingalato
shireta ama problems sana for that, for a country. When when you stick on the people's will, people have the capacity to, like utule muna kwati, you have them now and stuff like that. But at a certain point from psychology, you remember psychology 101.
Yes.
All repressed feelings have a tendency to have a natural outlet.
Yes.
And in terms of abantu ngawatari to place so much oppression, they come and explode at the time that you least expect them. And what we infiltrate them is a very small thing, small issue. And they explode. And once they explode, it's unstoppable. So it's so bad to see that what is going in Mozambique. It's very, very bad. And you see, those are some of the things that I think us as Zambians, we must be able to not to encourage and to strengthen our democratic processes and systems, not to defend one person. Umuntu monga alufianya, wose tufe tuanda tina alufianya. Ero nga alufianya ni sida alufianya. Tukawati oyo nga alufianya, then we find the way of saying that it's correct. Wrongs are wrongs. So in those matters,
it's politically correct.
Yeah.
It's politically correct.
So my only view is that it's sad for Sadiq. I hope that we learn something as Zambia in our democratic systems, because we should keep refining it. That people's wishes and people's wills must always be respected and be heard. So that's what I can say on that. It's unfortunate.
And our HH has already congratulated the winning candidate.
The one who people are fighting now. That's where the problem is.
Bale disera imwe akainde wesunasumina chilishanuko mwebalandanango.
These are politicians. These are politicians. Listen,
I have no statement.
Listen.
Unless I see the words coming out of his mouth.
There's a statement.
Send the statement to me, and then I'll comment after that. After I read the statement.
The protocol, just using protocol. I mean, you have to congratulate a new government. But
all this is hearsay until I see it in writing, or I hear the words that are coming out.
I think let's not miss the big topic here, or the big issue. Abantu baku Mozambique. Like, look, everything is on standstill as we speak.
You see, Bachanda. If they are already suffering, so we are they don't care. It affects them to the point where they don't care. That is what happens. Because the suffering it doesn't make sense. There's no difference. The people actually that feel suffering are the people that run businesses, the people that depend on that system. When they get to a point of I have nothing to lose, they come after the same infrastructure that we created at great cost and destroy it. So that once they benefit services, never shall benefit once they about equal. That is a problem. Because you can't say so them suffering is not going to be changed because of the actions they've taken today.
Yeah, so it just become worse.
Yes, but
it just become worse. So, like my point, what I was trying to say. Point on that it's because now things are worse now than they were before. They were a little bit better, but now things are worse because one, nobody's getting any commodities, fuel. But nowadays, we should just look for fuel. So now these things now are going to affect us as Zambians.
Yes.
Okay. Indirectly, we're going to be affected. And the price of fuel, when it goes up, opposition
to say that the way that they will get when people are right, they can talk.
No, but because It's better mulelanda, yes,
But
but if you
Bachanda,
blame, you
Bachanda,
start blaming
you
at
see,
mwamona teleteka wino.
when
Shani, mwemanto akwalesi.
moneni Bachanda,
Eh?
wa mtu wanda chwa mtu umutale wenkonya.
They'll be
So
expressing an opinion.
Nangubulanda Dio Kulanda because it's president. They will not to focus on anyone for solution. So when the solutions are not there, they will attack him and say. The problem is if Abantu Balanda, let people talk and provide solutions to the extent which you can provide. Don't stiffen them and go. He's a servant, by the way. You know, he's a servant, he's not a boss. He is a servant. Mubomfi wabantu balashova. And you must have a big heart ukutasaki fige makubantu. Hello. You see, that's why the problem is. Women advisors, the president, standing react. No, the president shouldn't react. He must just provide leadership. That is all. Not
Must-
even
must-
what is that?
Yeah, but
In another boy, you know, I get surprised when we can even say at Abantu Valande. If people can blame HH over the rains, what more gas? So Kula Shafi, let him just continue ruling the country. But I want to talk about
Vasera, let me just support what Vasera said. Ukulanda abantu kulanda kwaba drought balanda HH eurengere. Kwaba drought balanda Edgar Lungu takwete leadership. Eurengere kube drought. Takwete kumvikwa wafika. So people will talk.
yeah, Edgar Lungu ishaumfu hapo abantu balekonde isi yopalibya. Ishaumfu hapo.
Vachandangata mwaumfu hapo utwamutumira na mavideo.
Mkati
The president is saying, the current president telling the friend that it is lack of leadership. There's nothing like, oh, tapali fuel, tapali drought, climate change. You want to blame climate change for your failure of leadership. These are politics. Let people talk. Even him, they will tell him for things that he's not responsible for, but people have to have the power to talk. Him to provide leadership. Chapwa.
yeah. So talking about if you are Chitika ko Mozambique. I just also want to talk about the people that are put on oath, like the lady. I think she must be a lawyer or something. Kuisi Zedibaba under oath and say the truth. So it all goes back to these people who are in these institutions to be upright, to stand on the truth. Because most of the time you find that these people in these institutions like ECZ, there's so much corruption, so much, wukaitemwe, and I don't know how Africa is going to, to come out of poverty and other things if this continues. It's because of who we are. We don't want to stand for the truth. Number one, we have a tendency of, wanting to please somebody, wanting to please people. Abantu balambona shine. Even in this Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, there are some people who are with us in the party. Like, even if something is wrong, they just want to say, just because it's Mr. Hakainde Hichilema and it's UPND, they want just to say it's okay. It's okay. Ngaba nani ba PF bale chitashani. It's okay. So I fail to understand how we are going to go forward, like we used to say, like forward. I don't know how Africa is going to come out of these situations, because these things which are happening in Mozambique can happen even in our country. Anytime it can happen, because people are not standing on their principles and the principles of the system.
Amazing stuff. Now, shall we talk about the? Let's moving on along. Let's moving on the conversation. Let's talk about the plot that's been unearthed, involving our former foreign affairs minister with his corruption cases against him, almost winding up in the courts of law in Zambia. He's also plotting to flee the country, because he seems to think that he won't get justice at the end of the day. And we're talking about the one and only Mr. Helicopter himself, Moneybacks, Joseph Malanji. What's up with these PF people, my land? We're fleeing the country. Are they cowards? Let's start with you, resident PS. What's up with your with the
My
with the
people.
PF former leaders trying to flee the country because they are scared of going to the gallows? I mean, out here we say if you did the crime, you better do the time. Vakazi.
I don't know. I've not heard that he was. I don't know. Maybe we can provide a bit of more context in terms of what he has done. He did not
What
like
do you
to
mean
run
you don't
away.
know what Malangi has done?
No, I don't. Yes,
Vakazi.
I will pay some information on that.
Naturally, if you're educated by your resident PS,
Yes,
naturally, if
what is
you're
actually doing?
educated by resident PS, and he doesn't know what Mr. Malangi has done.
As far as as far as wanting to run away, I'm not here. I've not heard that. So,
But you've heard about his court cases, right?
I know about the court cases that he's been.
Yeah.
I know that he's supposed to, he's appearing in court, and the matter has not been concluded yet. So the question that I have is that when you say is the plot of how was the plot crafted?
Yeah. Well, Vakalinda, on that one as well, I've got no issue about him escaping. I don't want to comment on something that I've got no information on.
And you guys won't come
That
on air to talk about his escape.
No, but if that's why we are saying Vakalinda. What is it that he has been?
We already have how many people have escaped? Let's just
okay?
name them.
What
Is
is the
it just
basis of your saying
Tasila
this
Lungu
Vakalinda?
has fled the country.
What?
JJ Banda, Chilufia Tayali, all of them, they have one thing in that ties.
But Vakalinda, what is your basis of saying you want to escape?
Wait, I'm not saying it. It's what the report is saying.
Who is giving us that report?
We only talk about things that have already been reported.
Yes,
So
but the question
all
is that
I'm saying is I would like to believe that report because I have more than 10 people that have escaped Zambia's dragnet because as soon as their cases are going to judgment, they flee the country. Kaiza Zulu, JJ Banda, Chilufya Tayali, Tasila Lungu. Who else am I forgetting in the mix? Who else am I forgetting in the mix? There are so many examples of PF fleeing the country as soon as their cases are going towards judgment. And if this report that came out this week is any indication, that's what Malanji is also plotting.
One Wakalinda, that may be very, very serious prosecution in terms of this process which is still in court. If we are going to start saying, oh, Malanja, based on the others, it will mean that we are using capital punishment for everybody, collective punishment. Because therefore, Malanja by based on association. If Malanja is associated to the people that have run away, so therefore, that is very.
We have to warn authorities. I think we started off this show, people blasting ACC not doing their job. I hope Zambia police won't be sleeping at the wheel. We need to cockle up on that one.
Yes, to cockle up because I didn't hear what other people said. I having challenges of linking up, but I'm speaking on at least something that I've known. If people are going to be treated as guilty by association, no, if you're associated, therefore you're guilty. It doesn't matter if you're innocent or not, or if you're not planning or not. Therefore, the collective wisdom is that you are planning it, even when you have not proved that you're planning it. If Malanja is still in the country and is appearing in court, not just because that is collective punishment. And our laws are very clear. Mina and Bichila Muntu is treated separate entities, separate individuals. So now I to our SEC. But SEC can only also apply work within the provisions of the law and not to infringe on people's rights if our constitution has provided rights on them. The SEC is bound by them because if you're an SEC officer and you abrogate the law right now for bank and maybe because you are trying to favor the powers that be, the power
We're not favoring anything.
so the
We are
question
not
is like, what is the
favoring
question?
anything. All we have to speak our mind on the
Yes,
reports that we are hearing from the
and I'm
country.
now questioning the reporter. I'm not saying that it is you. I'm questioning this reporter who is giving us this information. You a reporter. What is your basis? Is it that you're treating Malanje as guilty by association of other people that can run away that you know? So is that your basis? And is that fair? Is that just? Is it provided for by the law? If it is, yes, well and good. But if it's not, you, the reporter, are actually agitating people and agitating the legal process itself. And you're also creating a problem for the judicial system because the matter has not been concluded.
I think the reporter did a good job preempting. We need more and more of this. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next. Let's allow other people to talk.
But last week the question,
Yeah, no. I mean, Mr. Passmore, I'm not gonna go. Mr. Passmore, let me bring you into the conversation. There's a report out there that the former Foreign Affairs Minister is about to flee the country following his court cases that are about to be judged on in Zambia soon. Your comment on that?
That's a very interesting kind of situation. If the reporter has evidence that the former foreign minister is about or is freeing the country or is planning these processes, has that reporter reported to the police?
At this point, we don't.
If he hasn't, then it's just hearsay, right? Either it's aiding and abetting the leaving the country, right? Which it should be, if as a citizen, right? If the former minister was to flee, I think we should be able to get that reporter in for aiding and abetting the freeing of the former foreign minister. Because otherwise, it's not justice. We're not being fair to ourselves, right? And that's keeping a blind eye and, screaming in the street, thief. No. Get hold of him, give the evidence to the police, and the police can tell whatever is being planned, if at all is being planned. Otherwise, it's just a dream.
Right on, Mr. Mwami.
Yes, ma'am.
The latest report is that Malanje is plotting to flee the country as his case has come to a close.
Where is
your
his
comment
passport?
on that?
Let's get hold of his passport first, then I will comment. Flight risk. He even has helicopters.
On what basis are you going to get his passport?
He has a helicopter.
Eh?
He has a helicopter.
And he's got the means.
Yes, he's
So
got the
those
means.
that's
He's
what
not
they
even,
look at.
he's
So
not a flight
standard,
risk.
yeah.
It's not that he's a flight risk. The word risk is an understatement. He has the means to just disappear. Just ngate pakongo hapa ni chapo alovanokulu.
So Ramasa, if I may follow up with the questions with you, being I think raised a good. So the mere fact that Malanje is a suspect, is appearing in court and has been going, and he has means of escaping, therefore he must be caged.
Yeah, passport wafire baipoka.
Not caged, but
just on
the
that
passport
basis.
should be confiscated.
Vampoka the passport. Vamshako pena reg. Kuti vamchana reg, it's okay. But passport vapoka.
So which law will be
once beaten?
Which law are they going to apply to do that?
Once beaten, twice shy.
But which law are they going to use to do that?
It's within the laws of Zambia.
Those are standard procedures.
There is no law. Listen, let me explain.
People, you see, this is why
there is no law.
This is where
there's nowhere where it's written in our laws. There's nowhere where it's written that this person is a flight risk. But when you assess the situation, it's at the discretion of those people handling the case. They can either say, okay, he can have his passport, or he cannot have it. It's at their discretion. But if one of the discretionary measures they can say is that let's grab his passport, well and good, they're acting within the law.
Well, Masha, do you understand what the guidelines are for a person to be considered a flight risk?
Okay.
Yes. He has the means. He has the means.
This the way it comes is this. Nga bakutwala kulya kuchira cha Milandu kulya. Okay? When you're taken for arraignment, the judge who has the authority, it's the judge, authority to say whether, because I'm lawyers, they'll come here. This one will say this one will say, and then they'll say, look, you, he's at flight risk, but judge. In case, so, mupokeni passport,
yes,
or and strict his movements and stuff like that, and it's up to the judge to say yes, according to the information, this person is a flight risk. So, can you please surrender your passport?
This is what brings me to what
your request that.
This is how brings me to what your passport said. He said, you have evidence that you want to go to now what evidence you must submit it so that but you cannot just wait.
It's not a journalist. It's not a journalist. It's not a reporter's place to report anything.
Okay. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. The morning that on one morning when Malanji is supposed to appear before the courts of law, because Malanji talipo, Bafaisha no, Adi Monekano he passed through Lusaka. Oh, the next, oh no, we saw him at Zimbabwe. Oh, the other, no, we saw him in Durban. What are we going to say?
Let me tell you something you must understand here. You don't need a passport to run out of the country.
Yes.
You can run to a border and declare a status for paying. That happened. They don't need passports and have a visa for it. Border can cross and will be taken there for assessment. You don't need a passport to run away from a country. No.
So we should maybe
that's why now
house arrest
report so that have it in a case where it's confined. But not to have how did you know and you didn't report? That is
we were saying this even earlier on to say abantu abatumira ndutu nono balachula abantu abafumira ndu ifukulu mu Zambia bala they are so free people. Upange ufaka mulando wakanono ku police bala kwe bati you should report at the police every 2 days. Every 2 days that you let's report to police. Every 2 days to therefore let's report kuno. Wherever you are, report yourself to police. Now why kulundazi police no, you people are around. The next day you find yourself in Choma or police, you people are around. Over a very small case. Let it be the same with that guy. If he has to report to police every 2 days or every 3 hours, bachanda, that privilege we used to have ku college yanga maipushanga mole mwaulungana sana bale miditena no kula sign in after how many hours.
Yeah, but
After how many hours mwale saina ini chen vitulande chishinka.
If it means kwatama procedures.
Nayo yali ni procedure ilia.
Who create
Yali ni procedure. Mfweni bachanda. Nayo yali ni procedure. Nga walufyanya we were signing in every 2 hours. Now we kalapalia. Haisona register wa signer. Na mulaba?
Tamwale mfwa.
Na bachanda twatwale mfira pamona bachanda. Bale tusainisha. Every hour. That is a yes.
One thing you are forgetting is that you can't use your feelings.
No, there are no feelings here.
About somebody and they say I'm state. If you
there are no feelings here. Way.
I'm telling you, I'm taking
if
you.
If this is applied, it will be within the law.
Which law is it going to be within?
Moneni, the procedures, the Nindondorakade. If it was a perfect world, I think for the Bachelor and Masha, you came a little bit late. We said it in the earlier conversation, Lungu. If it was a perfect world and our systems were oiled properly, no more procedure and they see that you've got the means to travel or to go anywhere in the world, the lawyers will present that information, including a judge. You is a flight risk. That's what constitutes a flight risk. Ngana kwatama means walikuwa tendalama mwali nonka kwati venechitotela venatazira lungu aba nonka bali ma flight risk. It means they can travel at any point at any time to any part of the world because of the money they have.
Let me take you to some of the basics that we implement. Bachanda kazi ya mwiteka po inkanga tefi. Inkanga nga shirefu nga shamishupa sana shirepuluka shirea. What do you do to those feathers? Muchitenga kunkanga shiria. Mulafunya kwenshi mapapiko kulia mulafunya kwa masakwa tishira pupuka tefi. That's what we don't want them to go. We are not killing that inkanga ileta tuleipa ya. Just don't want you to fly.
You see, abantu ngabala ufukuli advice like you. They will go to jail. That is why the problem is. If people
are going to allow Lady Sarah to come in too.
Okay, can I just finish this point to here?
I'm enjoying them talking, my sister.
Nina ndapankanga mulandepo.
Abantu ngabala ufwina imira delay. Whereby you start getting blinded to things that are procedural and written. We will create a problem for ourselves. We will create a very big problem for ourselves because because that's what I'm motoka. So mukakeni. There are legal procedures in terms of coming to a decision where the judge grabs a person or grounds a person to be what a flight risk. It has been in the court.
Yes.
Not because they don't apply to the person.
They will apply the law. They will apply the law.
Our beloved resident peers.
In conclusion, I am adopting what my pastor said. If this reporter who told us that these people want to run away has evidence, let him go and report. Or else, if Mamarandi runs away, he is an abetter. We are Katakulonga. And number two, but how about the evidence? Do not start to accuse people wrongly. Number three, we should stop collective punishment by association. It doesn't work like that in our civil jurisdiction, in our civil also, in our government, in our laws in Zambia.
Thank you. 30 seconds are over. As for me, I would like to depart from the thought of Yarakazia and Bapasmo for the first time, and I'll say this to the Zambian government: is just advise, listen to these reports, put a lid on Malanji to be warned. It's to be forewarned. That will be my message, because you have examples from Kambwili, JJ Banda, who is that one? The other one, Kaiza, Piatali, and the list goes on. Remember, these people eat from the same plate, so their thoughts are the same.
Yes.
Absolutely. Put a lid on Malanchi before he embarrasses you as well.
I
Yes.
would,
Yes.
I would advise.
And it is not that reporter's job to report. The job
No.
of a reporter is to inform the masses, and we have been informed. So
But
without
Can I say something?
say something, Masera. Yes, yes, Mr. Passmore.
Right. I think, this, the duty of the reporter or anybody who sees something illegal is being done or is being planned, I think is being a responsible citizen to bring it up to the appropriate authorities to curb it in, right? That, sort of at the beginning of our time, right, we had the Chief Justice James Skinner.
Oh, that old white
And
man.
right, that was the Chief Justice in Zambia, and he had some issues, right? And he also, like you were saying about Malanji and others, he was freeing to go into Malawi, right? And we had cases of another guy called Anfield, and he managed also to escape. And while others, Shaman and company, ended up in prison. So what it is that those citizens that have got information, it's their duty as a citizen to report, so such that a crime is not committed. However, if you do not report and you are found, then they can somebody can report you and says that X, Y aided and abetted the committing of this crime. Right? And the moment we begin to do that, we can clean up our society. Right now, we're all hiding under, says, oh, the police will do this. No, me, what? No. We need to actually get to the bottom of it, that there are those of us that know wrong is being committed or is being planned to be committed, and will not bring it to the authorities. Let's stop it by being responsible citizens and not hide. I'm a reporter. I'm just to inform the public. Rubbish. We're a citizen.
Machea, I think wow, you are ahead. Because if you are going to advise people like that at home, Kawasheni Keji won't say on the ground, or even where there's no information because we suspect, then we can as well tell those that have cases, say, run before they catch you. Can you flee the country? And that is not right. Because our justice system must be made in such a way that who must be comfortable that I'm going to face the law and I'm going to be treated within the law. But if you're going to allow people, that, oh, because someone has just thought of, he has no basis for what he has said, he has just, because he associated, it will create a problem because everybody now, that will be very inimical to our justice system. I agree with what the person has said. If someone has information, can we play our rightful citizen role to report it?
I mean,
Honorable,
the police should not be
Honorable
acting. The police should not
Jack,
be acting on newspaper articles, right?
Honorable
That
Jack
you,
Yuhunya Mwimbo, to be forewarned is to be armed. But Sarah, you have a comment. Please come in.
Okay. My comment is that I just wanted to find out. Can someone mute themselves? I'm getting an echo.
Mr. Kazia, as always, he's got multiple things going on at the same time. It's Bakazia. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question where about Malanji's case. When did it start? 2022? Uh,
Yes.
why is it taking so long?
Because he's been adjourning
Who has been adjourning?
Malanji and his lawyers.
I think
Amwe
listen,
Malanji
Banani Kaniba. Can I say something? Oh my
Let
goodness.
him finish, Bakazi. I'm sorry, let
Uh
her finish.
yeah, listen, Sis Kalinda. Are you sure a lawyer and whoever it is have the powers over the judge?
A Zambian lawyer walk into the court and say my client is dying in a Minasoko hospital, and the judge will believe that.
Okay. Okay. Now, my take on this one is this. This is what we talked about earlier on when we just started this program. We said that the system is rotten. Every system. I don't know how we are going to come out of this. The rotten systems. Because if the system is good, there is no way this case can drag for 2 years, over 2 years. We are going to 2025 just in a day's time. And this Malanji is always being talked about. And that's why even reporters now are telling us that he's about to run. He wants to run away from the country. Because even Mr. Akainde, sometimes that's why I tend to start agreeing with people who are saying at Babu, because him, I used to see our president, our current president, saying that the justice system will lessen the days and the months that someone is going to be judged. But you see, the way the things are dragging, the way the cases are dragging, and someone who is just poor, just maybe the phone was stolen or whatever, they are in remand prisons. Okay. So if you're every time we talk about the same things, every time I think we need to make a clean up in these institutions so that things can move fast. There's no way Malanji all the time Malanji. Why for over 2 years? Huh?
Dr.
Why?
Moneybags.
No, it's not. It's not fair. It's not
Yeah.
fair.
Dr.
And then
Moneybags.
Vale Sarah.
let me
Bonanza.
finish talking.
Vale,
And then you find
Bonanza.
that some of us who have done, I'm a human rights activist, and I'm certified by DC, Washington, DC. I'm certified in that. There are those 30, fundamental human rights. You people, I heard somebody saying that, Bakazia was asking that, where is the law which says that you should be grabbed the passport and everything? And no. It's up to whatever. If there somebody thinks you can do this, that's, going against the human rights, that we have. Because someone can just wake up today and say, Sarah, because we suspect you can run away, we grab your passport. So let's the system of the court system make sure that they do the cases as quickly as possible so that we even stop stressing over this thing. Talking about this is stressful.
Vale Sarah, wait.
Lady Sarah, do you want
I
me to
agree with
do
you
you
with
want me
one
to do
point. The two other
do
points
you
I
need
don't
a
agree
glass
with
of wine, Lady Sarah, to calm down a little bit?
you.
I'm okay, but you see,
Mon-
Sister Kalinda,
Vale
this is
Sarah.
stressful.
Vale
She
Sarah.
is telling you the truth.
Tapali
Ye
ama
mpaka
nanta,
mtoto
tapali ama
nakenda.
laws or ama
Valeriere
human
shiba ya
rights that are being for lack of a better term, misused them. And when Wakazia asked that question, when I answered that a system of a weapon I'm court fee. Okay, when you go there for arraignment, all right, if they find out that you want to you, case ya kwete trims to investigate, ni case ya so, ali, allegedly ali vendalama, ali kwa tama milioni,
Ama helicopter. Alikuwa tama
helicopter and all that stuff. Uyu muntu you, mwe bantu akwalesa. Mupoke ni passport, because nga tuamuleka telefine, kutabutuka.
Okay?
So tapali ama nani kana human rights being abused. That's totally different now. All right. This standard. This is standard international. This is standard everywhere in the world.
Let's bring in like you said. Let's bring in a fresh
Before you bring the fresh one. Before you bring the fresh one. Just in case.
Hold on. Let's bring in a fresh perspective to the discussion here. The man behind the podcast, Bakombe. Welcome back. Oh, maybe he's just listening in. Anyway,
okay, well, can I add on something? No. You see, what we are saying is, yes, Honorable Mwimbu is forewarned. That's great. But what I'm saying is, for Mwimbu to be able to move, that reporter should take the evidence to the police, and the police will then take it to court, and Malanji will be in the right place if what the reporter is saying is true. But what we suffer from is that we're good at saying this and this and this is happening, but we don't have the courage to take that to the court or to the police to ensure that right things are done. There's nothing, taking the passport from Malanji because he's doing, planning all these kind of things, it's okay. But somebody has to give that evidence to the police to ensure that the court, the justice system, can curtail the movements of Malanji. But if they're going to curtail movements of anybody from a newspaper report, from a faceless person who hasn't got the courage to go and give the evidence, then we're in for a rough time.
I tend to want to respond to that, to you, sir. I don't know your name. The other thing, if we're Zambians, I don't know how old you are. Maybe you are younger than me, but me, I'm old. That's the problem. Listen.
I'm 68, ma'am. I'm 68.
It's okay.
He's answering. He says he's 68. It says.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that for Zambians, that's the very, it's something that is in us. We forget where we are coming from. And those who are coming now, they also forget what they've found. They don't want to go with what they've found. The thing is, we are saying this reporter should report whatever, because me, I've seen a situation whereby I can give you an example I'm becoming emotional. My own brother, died in prison. Okay, it's because he was found in a situation whereby he was the one, that Chifunkana's area where we at the coffin is moving, blah, blah, blah. And they started beating people like, Indoshi, whatever. And he was protecting those old people. And he called the police and he reported and he was found on the scene and everything. So what I'm trying to say is that people have that notion of saying, I'm gonna report the police now because of too much corruption. Malanji's got money. You people, you don't know what is happening in Zambia. Malanji's got money. These other police officers and other people, they are eating. They are eating, and if the reporter goes, oh, blah, 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 okay, me, I've gone through that, I've seen that. Akaka reporter kachisa muta reporter chimnefo kuvutoka. Nikana ni akokeni. 20 penny imuna beni coffee. What do you think can happen? There's too much. The system is rotten. I continue talking about this. There's too much corruption, such that even the people are on the bench, the same court judges, they are all corrupt. Corruption is a disease. Mr. Levi Mwanawasa said corruption is cancer. That's why even these cases are dragging, because they are eating. Please, you judges and whatever, stop. Stop being corrupt and do your work. Mulafolela po. Thank you.
Mr. Mash.
The thing is, let's say like on this Malanji case and this reporter, right? I'm firm. And that if that reporter was able to go and submit to the police and says, this is what I've given, this evidence I've given the police, right? That others will be able to pick it up. What we don't do, and that's what is killing us, is that we don't have the courage to stand up for what is right. And the one of the things that we do best, we know how best to stand on an anthill and say something is happening, it's wrong there. And I would like to maintain, and I'm like, I'll say it again, that, if you have the evidence, and it's not only Malanji, the other people that have been called upon and said, they are wanting and this is happening. But nobody has taken it up into the justice arena. Right? And if the police are not doing what they're supposed to do, there is a commission that you can report them and says, I took this matter to the police and nothing happened. That you're able to do. And that's how, bless the young man who took the Constitutional Court to task. Right? And, that way, right, that kind of courage is what we require to bring some of these cases to a close. Right? But we don't. I mean, I, for one, would like whoever this reporter is, if it's known to any one of you, right, tell that reporter to go and give that evidence either to the minister, right, and to the police, and says, this is the evidence, this is what's going on. Can you please lock up this guy? And they will try him in the court. Let's have that courage. Right? Because if that young man didn't have the courage to question the Constitutional Court, they wouldn't have ruled the ruling that we had not so long ago on eligibility of ECL. Right? But there was that loophole. Right? And how many of us are actually seeing all these things and are sitting by and drinking coffee, or is it drinking Jameson? So let's stop.
Even you, sorry to cut you short, even you have seen the write-up of a journalist, you can go and follow it up. we can all rise and say the journalist has written this. You can go to the police and you can do that.
Vasera.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What we're saying is that the journalist has to give the evidence. I mean, the report doesn't have evidence.
Pasmo,
No, no, that's not evidence.
Pasmo. Let me defend Pasmo here, Vasera. Pasmo is not the initiator of this news. You go like, oh, Malanja lefwa yokubutuka. So imagine Pasmo just shows up at police at all. This person wants to run away, so now he wants to run away. He doesn't have the evidence.
Newspaper national yakwa
Yes, but the
journalist.
point is that why
Then we are all
should
reporters.
his point is, and which is very critical, Asera, why should you email Asera, but Malanja be having a problem to go to police? Because in the evidence, it is a manufactured thing. Manufacture, oh, because Malanja is connected to 1, 2, 3, 4, so the fake one is therefore to register. That is treating Malanja's duty by association. Wapelo Mulandu, because Malanja got the Mulandu, so that should not be tolerated as things stand in the country right now. If we want to, we must play our right role as citizens. Gawasanga pale Mulandu wa usari report you, so that ngawale fata basi
Zambia mwarishupa kuchita report ifini tu. Bantu nakupewa sanga abantu balelwa. Even if it's just a dead body, people wala pitirila wala tira.
because now
No evidence. They don't even investigate. They will say, well, how did you find it?
The journalist is going to be in trouble, even much more bigger trouble, if Malanja ran away. Because then they will question him. You didn't believe you are information. They're not going to say, oh, I'm going to fact because 1, 2, 3, 4 out because then they are for 9 It's not how things happen. He will be in much more trouble because
in Zambia.
Yes, in Zambia.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! And in fact, in Zambia, they are very so reactionary because right now, why is it that this journalist has got to go to court with evidence? Alizi, now he can see. The man who no, Alizi. So, and the police, they are not following the journalist. And the problem is that because limbitapali evidence, who don't someone sits down and thinks that this person can do this and people do it.
Even corruption bakazia na corruption yalichilamo.
Yes.
Even if there is evidence, these police, whatever, they will just talk. Malanji's got money. Imwe.
The fight to corruption has to begin with us, right? That if every citizen at their level are committed that actually we don't have corruption, there won't be. But we as citizens, we want HH or whoever it is to stamp out corruption. He cannot.
Yeah, that's what we are talking about. Yeah.
So what we need to be able to do, right, in this particular case of Malanja, right, or where somebody says he's planning to do this, if you are sitting on a plan, right, and that plan comes out and a crime is committed, methodically, right, they will get to you and you'll be behind bars.
But you see, Pasmo, there's also another huge challenge in that line, especially as far as SEC is concerned. SEC is where the corruption is decimal, is there in the institution. Because you can't have the chief executive procuring judgment and getting money, and the only thing he resigns and runs away. You see, we must be able to curb from anti-corruption commission, get the integrity there, such that I must feel good to go and report and knowing that this corruption will be dealt with. But if corruption is in the institution that we want people to go and do, report. And people see, everybody say, no, but they consider that managers got money and this one. This is right because the institution which is there, the board member raises an alarm to say there is corruption here in the institution. The CEO just resigns because we needed to have a clear whip on him so that this institution is an institution that is going to protect us. So let's start with that institution. And then we move away from that, and then we sensitize the citizens in terms of reporting what is corrupt.
Right, let's move on now, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's
The
move
final, the
on.
final one, the final one from me,
Let's move
the final,
Just
the
one last
final one,
addition.
the final one.
No. Here's the thing. I think about Wakazia, you're onto something. But here's the thing. Mwewantu Wakwalesa, you pose the question, and I'm still coming back to you. At how legal is this?
How legal is it? I can answer it.
So,
There is what?
Mone University, Babasha take question here.
Eh?
Wakazia, he was asking me how legal is it for the court to confiscate passport ya Milanji. But the thing is this, me, I'm not really concentrating or talking about the journalist report.
That is not the question. The court has the powers to do it. It is the how.
How it's this. Using what is called as
how? Like I just explained to you how.
Let me explain. Let me say something. Using what is called as actors rear or mens rea. One of the two. It's enough.
Here's the thing. Ngamwaya kulia. Okay? So, normal that's what I'm saying. In a normal world, because things are not normal, and the system, the way it is, it's very, very, very much corrupt, and people like Arena Milanji, they're able to get away with these things. And that's why, if you look at the history, okay, ones here who've been, high-profile people, they're sort of given a leeway. These things could have been done already. Nga journalists talilanda pono kulanda. Okay? Because all they would need to make it legal, if you want to go to legal terms, one is to get a court order. Once a court order is done, can you go and confiscate? Okay? After basta present a lawyer, you muntu yukutabutuka. Okay, fine. Court order. Letter passport. Chimo chine ngana bakwata court order ya kwisa kumisecha imwe bakazia kunganda kumyena. We suspect he's got drugs in the house. And then basenda kuli judge. Basenda court order. Vaisa kumyanda kumunganda kumyena kulia. You can't say that it's not legal. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm explaining. That's what I wanted to explain. Just there, Wachanda. Help me. Let me just come in.
So mama court orders, if sometimes they may not confiscate your passport, but they would refuse to give you bail. Okay, that's another angle. That's another angle. So you could keep out
let's bring in a fresh perspective. Let's bring in a fresh perspective. You guys have been talking on
I wanted to add something in connection to Achanda.
Okay, you have 30 seconds, and then we are going to go to Mr.
And then I have 30 seconds as well.
After Mr. Kombe. Go ahead, Vamash.
So here I was saying the mind, the criminal mind, in any case, the criminal mind is what is pinned. There's what is called as actors rea through actions and mens rea through mind and intentions. Those two are enough for the court or the police to instruct to say, can we get hold of this passport? Just those two, actors rea and mens rea. I think Bachanda kaziana mushe fondera ndapo mwalatala nokutala. Thank you.
If. You see, if statement is hypothetical.
But you are not actors rea and mens rea.
That is dependent on what arguments you take to the court. Right. Both cases and instances that you are talking about, it has to be determined by the court. It's not an individual. It's not me. That is why they say the law is blind. It's not doesn't look at individuals at human eyes.
Gentlemen, let's not back and forth. No. Mr. Kombe's platform now.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Very exciting topics. And I just want to say a few things on the case Yaba Malanja. I'll begin from the last point that was made by the man who was holding the mic. Yes, I think what determines whether somebody is a flight risk or not is the documents that are submitted to the judge by the prosecution. First, you make your case and you say this person is a flight risk and here's why. So the judge looks at those documents to approve whether to approve or not. So that is not just entirely on the government to decide. It's the judge who sees that in the document, because we shouldn't forget everyone has the right, even the accused. So in as much as we might not like how the process works, but in law, it is the process itself. So when it comes to why, if people like Masera, I like her concerns. She's saying the justice system is compromised, and then she says the duration, how long the cases have taken. Let me speak to the duration of the case. From the beginning, if you remember very well, when the president came in, he received a report and he saw how the backlog was for most of these cases. So to me, the case Yaba Malanji, it's still within the time frame, because the way the courts work, there's timelines, there's a backlog. So even when a case comes, there's no way they'll just put Babaivika contents. We know there's a fast track court now, but still, even that there's a backlog of cases. You know, there's scheduling issues also. They can't just schedule a case. There are other cases that have to appear at that time. So everything is within place. Going to the saying that our justice system is very corrupt, I beg to differ. They are not very corrupt. Yes, we might have one or two or a few elements, bad apples here and there, but the law works. It might take a while. From a layman's person, it might take for us, we're looking at the duration, you know, hey, 3 years, this man is not in jail. But that's not how it works. That's not, even here in the United States, there are serial killers who have been caught with bodies in the houses. But how long does it take for them to be prosecuted? You see, so it might take long, but everyone has a day in court. Trump himself had cases right when he left office. Look at what has happened. Now he's going to be the president, and now some of these cases now are being forced to at least be on hold. It has taken that long, 3-4 years, just for the justice system will to spin. So we must, let us not be discouraged. The law sometimes takes long, but it's the process. You and I, we're supposed to encourage that, because it's not just those people involved today. Tomorrow you might be involved. You want your case to be heard thoroughly. So that is what is happening right now. So everything is in place. Yes, we might have one or two bad apples here and there, but I want to believe there's going to be a day when Amalanji's case will end. If you remember very well, when the president came in, actually was very eager to finish cases. But I think when he was shown the process and how things work, he realized, okay, we need to push through the fast track courts just for things to move quickly. Some of the monies that were allegedly, or right now we might not say allegedly, because some have been sentenced, money that was looted, that's when people are paying the price. But how long was that? Take GBM's case, for instance. His case has begun as far as 2016. It is just now that he's been sentenced. Katele Kalumba, we had that case. That case started during the MMD. It is just now that they're facing justice. So sometimes the justice system is slow, not because people are deliberately slow, but it's a system. There is also the appeals process. Most of these people will be sentenced and still be given the right to appeal, because that's what the law demands. So I think we're still in a good place. It's very frustrating, yes,
politically, yes, but the system is still, we still have great minds and great people sitting on those benches. I yield.
Methodical.
All right. Okay,
Vakumbi.
great. Shall
Halo,
we?
vache.
Mkwai.
So we
Yo,
run.
vambo kunganyo kulanda vache. Anyway,
You have 30 seconds.
you see, Vakumbi, this is the challenge has been that, you see, our justice system keeps delay. Tatulepanga progress in terms of the systems. Mind you, there's a case flow management system that was started at NPA, which is the cause listing in terms of what cases come before which judge, when is the court opening and things like that, and what are the prosecutors, what side of guardian. There is all that process. But you would find that the high profile cases, because they have political tone attached to everything that is happening. That's why probably the judges also have to be very careful, because these at times are people rush to say, oh, Malanji is guilty, and oh, grab his passport, grab what is the basis when he's presumed innocent? Because you see, there's also a presumption of innocence. But in the public court of opinion, someone is judged and probably executed. So right now, we have passed a judgment on Malanji that, oh, Malanji grab the passport. What is the basis when he is still presumed innocent until he's proved guilty? So some of the rights, you can't get them away from him by mere fact that our law prescribes him as what? Innocent. And that is at times what the frustration point is for the system, including the president. I know the president came in and said, let's do this. But when he gets there, then they tell him, no, Your Excellency, this cannot happen because there's this. Oh, you want to do, no, for you to change this, you have to do that and that and that. So at times he made pronouncements which cannot be made because the process is just so tedious, it may take 10 years. Thank you very much, Bakombe, for your insights on that.
Mkwai, can I
I
respond?
want to say something. I want to
But
say
in 10
something.
seconds, 10
No,
seconds.
let Makondo
Yeah.
say, respond and then Wasera in
Thank
that
you. I'll
order.
respond very quickly in 10 seconds. I agree with, is that what PS?
Reverend PS, yes.
Mkwai, thank you so much. That is excellent what you just said. Another thing I think that we forget is we don't have the tools in the prosecution, if I may call it, department. You see, here there are so many tools to investigate. In Zambia, we don't. For instance, most of these cases where monies are moved from a foreign account to from the Zambian account to a foreign account and payments are made, you need to present evidence in court.
Wow.
Do we have capable people who can investigate? Financial crimes take longer. Take longer because you want to make sure. I think it doesn't do us justice to present something.
Yeah.
In this case, the prosecution, they hurry to present something and somebody's acquitted. Don't forget, there's also what is called double jeopardy. Somebody
Yeah.
cannot be persecuted for the same crime twice. So you don't want to make a mistake. Do it once and do it right. This is something that our president actually learned when he was in office. And you saw him come out very often to say, let's make sure that people are investigated properly. So that means now taking time. In Zambia, we don't have agencies that can help the prosecution to investigate.
Chair, I would just want to share some experience around that, if you allow me, but maybe we might move to another. But he has brought something very, very important on the issue of investigations. Because Mamana Bagombe, when the National Prosecution, I worked for NPA as director HRA there. So you will find that we had a problem with the construction of the board and the powers of the DPP. When there was resistance to say the DPP should not be subject to anybody, it was for that case. Right now, if the way the National Prosecution Authority was structured was, it should be able to investigate anyone with subject to anything. And also, we stopped people getting authority from secretary to cabinet because of transnational crimes. Why? Because imagine the SC is the one involved in money laundering and the money is sitting in Dubai, and then the DPP must go and get permission from him or the president to go and investigate that money. It means he's not going to go. Because
Indeed.
where do you want to go? They curtail you. So these are some of the things that in our justice system we need also back to refine them and make sure that these prosecutors, we give them the right capacity and the right authority to make sure that if they want to get someone in South Africa the next day to investigate the transaction that has been done there in financial crime, they must do that away from the interferences of the executive and the judiciary. I think you brought something really, really important, and I think we must be able to discuss maybe another day.
Yeah. Sarah, you
Definitely.
coming now?
Yeah, so I just want to say that yeah, Bakombe is comparing USA and even our current the elected president cases delaying whatever. I think even here in the US there are some cases that have gone through as quickly as possible, especially in the time that I just came in. There was that the Black Lives Matter, whatever. The cases were disposed of quickly, or what happened. But in our country, I've lived in Zambia all my life and I've seen what is going there. And I've got some examples that I can give where you find that a simple case for Abalanda, poor people, they are judged within seconds, within months. They are in prison, they are put in prison behind bars. And you find these people with money, people like Wena Malanji, people with, like you are talking about GBM from 2016. Why drag? It's because it's all about corruption. I continue talking about that. Our system is so corrupt. Why the poor guy, the case is disposed of within months. These rich people, it continues. Jamesons. Why? So the law is not fair to the poor person. It's not fair. Why is it like that?
Can I
Why
answer
should
to
this
that?
drag on? Why? That's my question. So this thing of saying, oh, the law is blah blah blah, prosecution takes longer. On who? On who?
Can I
So
answer to that?
is it all animal farm, or all animals are all equal? Some animals are not. Is it like that?
Some animals are more equal than
Can I
others.
can I
Negotiate,
come
Yeah.
in and answer to
Is
Sarah.
that?
it
Let
animal
Bakombe
farm?
answer that.
No, we don't want a system which is going to, and the most, which is going to like segregate. Some cases they go fast. Umulanda talalondora no kulondolola ba mukakatisha chachine wali chitefi. Twakukaka 2 years, twakuka imonangu na kukaka 1 month. It's a sentence. But people with money, bale ende la fie, bale dianama wedding, bale kwata, bale upanama na kashibampi, bale chitashani. Why? Why is it like that? And you find that when now elections time come, it's the poor person that goes to line up over from 05 to 6 p.m. to 18 hours. Why?
Namwe
No,
Shiva,
I speak I speak for the
iriya
poor.
kibaleta basera, it's not a joke.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a joke because in most
My sister,
cases,
before you come in, Bakombe was about to answer that, Sarah. You can
Yes.
come in after that.
Thank you so much. Your concern, Vasera, it's a genuine concern and it's very frustrating. But the difference is representation. These people have lawyers. If you look at the poor person, kwa chipulukusuwa ibaweuba, takwata lawyer. It's the state that provides somebody to defend them, right? Sometimes when push comes to shove, they are forced to make a plea. So the person who's representing them, because they are under government money, they won't represent you for 2 years. Kuko vachisenga vamevera ati vamikake 10 years nangumusumile kwe vamikake 2 years. That person will just say, I'll take the 2 years. So representation matters. People who have lawyers know, because those lawyers, they take time to know what they can do, how they can appeal, which other way they can go. A good example I can give you is the tax case. Kwa Trump. You see, there was talk. Trump doesn't pay taxes. What did he say? I know the law and I operate within the law to see the minimum that I can pay. I never break the law. And if you've noticed, nobody has come back to say Trump carried Pilama taxes. They looked at his taxes. He paid less, yes, but was he within the law? He was, because his lawyers told him. So representation matters. If you have a good lawyer or you have money to afford a lawyer who spend days and weeks and months on your case, you find that he didn't get in Nama cases. They just go scot free, or they serve the minimum. But for us who don't have money, and you go there and they're telling you, how are you going to appeal? You're going to find a private lawyer. So the law, it's within the law, but it's representation. That's the reason why the poor eating it in, and we find ourselves on the other side of things.
Yeah.
Okay, come in now. I think we need
So
to finish.
just
I
like
give you 30
I was
seconds.
trying to address the point Sarah was saying, and also complement what Kombe was saying. Our issues are, sometimes you find. I think we need to, like I was saying, look, the Zambian system sometimes is not fair. It's not fair because they don't really look at an individual or a person. Naivenkoko, Naivashani, and why are we just crowding up all these jails for no reason? Okay, why don't we come up with certain systems whereby KCE, this is a very simple case. There's no need for somebody mujere. Okay, come up with community programs. Send any umuntu mkupyanga munani kane for free. Varamupera jaja ingira amwe iwe punishment yobe, you'll be going kupyanga mukairo road for free, or you're going to be judged here and you spend the next 1 year in prison. Which one would you prefer? I would prefer Nayangupyanga. Okay? Community service.
Yes.
So in most cases, those are the issues that most developed worlds, that's how they deal with simple cases, simple issues like Vasera is complaining about and all that stuff. And then proper representation. The judge has the discretion to release you at your own recognition. You know what? Instead of you to charge a bail money, let's just release him. But as long as you're able to report to an officer, Pondishani, why your case is still going on. That's also allowed. Those are the things that you should be doing. Other than nowadays in Gamwaya, kuma prisons, kuma cells, there's so many people that are there that don't even need to be there.
Era vanhu vavepeshafi vamuvepeshafi
They don't even need to be there.
achiwa,
These are
some
simple
have
cases
even died.
where they
How
can just be
did we
resolved.
get here? How did we get here from Malandi's topic? How did we get here?
It's the
Very
court
just
system, sister. It's the court
It's all about
system.
the system. It's all about the court cases. It's all about
Why cases
Bambi.
of the rich people take so long? Why
All
they
right,
try?
all right,
So
all right,
one
all right.
final
Okay, let's
question.
wind
So
this
has the
up.
court system collapsed?
Yeah, let's wind this up. In a nutshell, I think, like I said, our Honorable Jack Chihunya Mwimbo, you've been warned. Malanje is on the run. Just watch out.
Man.
Anyway,
Don't
let's
incite
move
Majaki
on
against
now.
Wamarangi na hivyo
Let's
basi.
move on to the journalist. Speaking as a journalist,
Awe na hivyo.
the journalist's job is to inform the nation. They cannot go and report that case to the police. That's not their job. It's in our constitution. Look it up. It's up to government agencies to follow what the reports are saying. For right now, we have warned the nation that Malanji is making these moves. Watch out. Anyway, now we
And
come
Marangi
to
is
the
As a
warned that they must
citizen,
run away.
as
we
a no,
we
as a citizen,
I knew I woke
you
up Mr.
cannot.
Passmo for nothing
No,
now.
as a citizen, you cannot let a crime happen, right? And watch it and say, "Oh no,
I'm a
I'm not a
journalist.
police."
Ah.
Mm-mm.
Well,
No,
let's go to my favorite
No,
segment of
we
this
want to,
podcast.
no,
before
And
you,
that,
let's get it right. And if we do so, right, these things that we're talking about will be history, right? But as citizens, we're aiding and abetting all these wrong things being done because we're saying, no, I'm not the police, I can't arrest. I'm not I'm a journalist, so I can't report to the police. You have seen a crime is being committed. I mean, these days are so good with videos and everything else, instead of actually taking the right kind of action.
thank you,
I
Mr.
mean,
Passmore. Shall we
as
move on
simple,
to our favorite
yes, as
segment
simple
of
as,
this whole podcast, which is the rant? And I believe Mr. Maja want to go first.
you have just disturbed my passport. Let him finish, then he goes to the
We
rant.
are done. This topic 1 hour.
No, no,
So
no. I
for
mean,
we were
let him
supposed to
be the
be
one
done
to
at
start
two
with the
o'clock.
rant.
It's 1 hour over. We're done. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. So, Mr. Majak, shall you start with your rant for the day? What do you want to speak from your heart? Mr. Majak is having some Kool-Aid. How about we go to Lady Sarah?
I think in the case of
Okay, Lady Sarah is also on boycott.
I'm
Uh,
not.
I'm not
okay,
there. I'm here.
okay, go ahead, Mr. Majak. What's your rant for the week or for the day?
Happy New Year. We don't want politics. May we practice the politics of civility. Let there be less rumor mongering. 2025 is coming. 2026. If we're going to go into politics with the rumors of war, people will be uneasy. You'll be creating unnecessary tension. I yield, especially politicians. Politicians, let them mind their tongues and their
Especially
words.
Fred Membe.
Thank you for adding that name.
Yeah, let me be. Allah,
All
he's a
right.
citizen.
All right. That
He's
was
an
Mr.
irresponsible citizen.
Maja's rant.
We,
There is no agreeing or not agreeing. That was a rant. There's a reason why it's called a rant. Let's
oh, okay,
move
okay.
on. Moving on to our resident PS. What's your rant for the day?
My rant is on your consultant, the UPND consultant. That is where my rant is.
I knew this was coming.
He's become more powerful than the vice president and the ministers and the entire cabinet. He seems to have so much information about what is going on in cabinet, which we are not getting from ministers, even the vice president, except the president. The consultant has become a mouthpiece of propaganda and the attack of other people that have dissenting views contrary to him. The knowing it all,
What's his name?
Maximo, the knowing it all, kind of presentation about what is going in government is very dangerous. Some of the information that is bringing are a preserve of the ministers and the vice president. Government programs are not supposed to be delivered by a consultant. The consultant does his work and passes information to government. To have a consultant who saps the information away from cabinet and government is dangerous. He is not a custodian of government programs and institutions. You colleagues that are in UPND, you need to monitor that and advise. If Secretary to Cabinet is listening, he needs to advise. The consultant has no part to play in government policy systems where he is the one to answer questions and what. No. He must not be a mouth of attacking other political leaders. He has created the system and asking questions and answering them. He asks the question and answers it, and then it drives the narrative in a different direction. So for me, my rant is on that one. A consultant must remain a consultant and not a mouthpiece of government. That's why we have Honorable Right Cornelius Mwetwa. If it is him who talks, I don't have a problem. But not any other to drive government system. Cornelius is there. He's both a spokesperson for UPND and government. And I think if that is coming from him, I'm more comfortable than listening to a consultant misleading us.
Can I follow that? being a UPND guy.
All right, Vakombe, what's your rant?
With permission, let me follow what the speaker said. Mr. Max Sumu is doing his job and he's doing it very well. I'm speaking now as a UPND member. Mark, I think you're overlooking one thing. I think the opposition, they want to define him as a consultant. Yes, that is one of the portfolios he holds. The UPND consults. He's a UPND member and they consult and he advises. But also part of his job is to show what is happening in the party. He's a political guy. So
I'm
you
going to
can't,
answer that.
so you cannot choose
No,
who
because
becomes.
you cannot ask and
Uh-uh,
answer.
it's-
No. With
No, I'm
all
answer.
No,
allow me to finish. Allow
One
me to
person
finish.
at a
Allow Vakombe to
time.
finish.
Mr. Kombe has
Okay.
the floor, please.
Thank you so much. You cannot choose who becomes the political guy in a political party. The opposition can choose whomever they want as their opponent, and that's fine. As for UPND, Mr. Max Sumu is one of them. He's eloquent, he speaks on issues, he has knowledge on issues, he can answer, he can rebuttal. You cannot give the same things to Honorable Muitwa. Honorable Muitwa is government spokesman and the party spokesman. So when we want to play politics and we feel Mark is the right guy, we'll choose Mark. We can choose anyone. If you look at the
Let me respond to
UPND,
that.
we've used Honorable Kapota to come on TV, explain economical issues, even the opposition itself. How many people do you have that rant? There is no way you can. You might not like him, but we love him because he explains things. So I
It's
think
not
he's
that I
in the
don't-
right place and doing a good job. I love Mark
Okay,
and keep it up, Mark.
let me respond to that because that was
It
my
was
rant.
a rant, Vakasia. There's a
No,
reason why I'm calling it a
Vakalinda,
rant for
the
a
issue that
reason.
the rule is that we don't respond to rants. When one
Okay,
responds, then it
20
goes for
seconds.
another person.
20
So I have
seconds.
to respond.
I
Now,
also need to
Vakombe,
come in here because
I
Kanjo
never
Kucha-
said,
No. We are not
I-
going to make this rant 40 minutes. You
yes,
have
I
10 seconds.
never said, and I did not say you can't speak on the UPND policies and other things. I'm talking about government.
Why not?
politics.
It's UPND.
No, Vakombe.
MCA.
Okay, we are done.
Government-
It was a rant. It was a
No,
rant.
Vakalinda, can I finish?
You had 10 seconds.
No, but you see, Vakombe, Vakombe.
Uh-uh.
Vakasia, I think your rant is up. You spoke. So let other people talk.
Yeah, can you protect me so that I
No,
finish
we
my
need to
point?
get done here. There's no
Yeah, but
no.
let me be
5
protected. Let me
seconds.
finish my
Let's
point.
move on.
Vakombe. I am
Mkwa.
not saying
Okay,
that Mark cannot
so
speak on
which
the
rant is it? My rant now?
Stop why are you interjecting me?
Thank you,
Stop.
Vakasia. You are
Vakalinda,
done.
Vakalinda, this is not
Vakasia, you
going
are
to be right.
done. Let's go with your
Vamakile
rant,
mulandi
Vakasia.
levane.
Yeah, let's go
Which
with
way
your
you
rant.
enter? Okay, I will do the same when you start talking.
You can have
Because
that
that's the way.
discussion in the background. Let's go. Let's
Hey.
go in.
Vakalinda, you
No,
cannot
you
start
are
from
done.
the river.
Right, Lufia, it's your floor now.
This is not fair, Vakalinda.
No,
This is
no,
not
no,
we are
no,
fair.
no,
done
no.
here.
We'll give
Ten
you
You
enough
can
time.
Let
talk
him
after
finish.
this.
This is not fair, Vakalinda.
You
I
can
got
talk after
interjected
this.
and
I need to
interrupted.
wind up, Vane. There are certain guidelines I have to play with.
Vakombe, don't go.
No, I'll be here.
Mucheranti temomo wachitampa mwalanda please.
But run that rant itakuwa hakushida privato. That is the rule of the rant. The rant is
That's
don't
the rule
private
of the
rant.
rant. You're done.
Okay.
I gave you
Nyumba takuwa
30 seconds.
mukokola.
Papa, we are going back and
Takuwa
forth. I
mukokola
need to
sana.
play
Itakuwa
them.
hakushida
Let's
Benko
do
privato.
chansa
the
badenu
That's
barande
the rules
Kokola
of the
sana.
game of the rant, guys. If we are not following the rules.
All right.
If you want to go back and forth, we will end the live stream and then you can go back and forth in the background. We always do that. You have more time then. Right, Lufia, go in. What's
So
your rant for the week?
my rant of the week is I think let's look at what so far the UPND government has done. The year is coming to an end. And I think what we need to do is analyze, and if people want to criticize or people want to bring in ideas on what's the best way we can do certain things, this is the time, because the year is ending, and looking at the 3 years, that the party has been in government, most people want to compare 3 years to 10 years, which is very unfair. And I've seen it in many circles, many discussions, and people are like, no, why hasn't he done this? I'm like, look, tafisa kwa tameno ya mkanwa. We need to do certain things, and things need to have a process. Okay, and it's a methodical way. A methodical way. Museka ngalanda ti methodical mula museka, but it's proven and it's been working. This current government has employed most civil servants since the history of Zambia. This current government has employed a lot of youth since independence. Takuli uingesa pie olo I don't even know whether
interrupt. So don't interrupt others.
No. This is a rant. So, according and what we're saying is this: if our government, yes, they employ abana, our students, workers, nurses, education practitioners. Like, look, since independence, abantu ngabalanda njere moneni abana batampo konaika. Can we just bring in ZNS program, reintroduce it to the masses? Hey, all hell breaks loose. People are, they're against it. Hey, they're against ZNS. Balipo kutampo kutuipa ya nomba. Chashupa nomba. Mwantu akwalesa, please. This is not a matter of no, it's a matter of let's remove the kids from the streets. Junta na issue, but it's a big problem in the communities. In conclusion, I'm very happy with the way the program is moving. Get all the kids out of. I think I need to conclude before you come in. We need to get all those kids out of the communities and make them be productive citizens by employ them, or let them give them some skills because ZNS. At least they become responsible citizens. Other than now, and all that stuff and creating all those crimes. That is a huge problem in the community. My compounds. Go in any compound. Most of our mothers, they're complaining of how they've been attacked at night. Okay.
All right.
I yield.
Mr. Passmore, what's your rant for this week?
I think I think it was Sarah, and might be wrong, but I think it was her, who said that we don't remember where we're coming from, and basically that's what gets us more into trouble. I think for me, the thing that we try and do is to rewrite and redefine things that even though actors are still alive, and we bring them up and they make, they kind of make sense. That a consultant is to advise the government. They can discuss issues, but they cannot go into what's happening in the government and be the spokesperson in terms of the government. We were reminded in 2007 by one late Patrick Levi Mwanawasa. It was at a forum which was looking and advising him, the advisory council to him, and it was an issue to do with the gateway. And the consultants had an opinion, and the president reminded the consultants that their role was to advise and his role was to implement, and to thank them for the advice because it is him that was elected by the people of Zambia to be able to receive advice from wherever he is, but it is him to make a decision. So whatever views, gotten from the West in terms of the gateway, that, Mwanawasa was saying it was a security risk, and as a president, he would decide. And the consultants, what he was saying was, when a consultant goes up on the stage and is talking about issues on the government, when you go and cast your vote, who are you going to cast it for? The consultant? No. The consultant is to make better the politician that has employed them. And you don't make them better by actually belittling them. Then you're not a consultant. So it doesn't matter what shape, whether PF, UPND, MMD, if you take up the role of a consultant, you are actually behind the scenes advising the politician, the one who is going to ask for people's vote. So, yes, consultants, we like to hear them in conferences.
In conclusion,
is let us do what we need to do as citizens and not hide under the guise of a consultant or a journalist. Have evidence, give it to the police. I submit.
thank you, Lady Sarah. What's your rant for the week?
My rant is okay. Somebody just mentioned my name. I don't know what he was referring to. Like, we forget where we are coming from, and I don't know how it get connected to the consultant. Now, my rant is the SEC, the Anti-Corruption Commission. I want to urge them to do their job well. We don't want this situation where they are putting stress on Zambians who are already stressed with the economy and everything, where they start talking about Tasila. Tasila, she's gone to America. I hear she's going to give birth. Let's wish her well. Let's wish her baby to come in a good way than stressing the whole Zambia that she's run away. Where is she? She cannot communicate. So that's my rant. I think the SEC has failed Zambia. It should change its name and they should overhaul. Everything should change at that institution. Thank you.
All right, and since we have come to the end of the podcast, as for me, I think my rant this week is it goes out to that young lady or the family of the young lady in Kushi who died Christmas time. Apparently, I mean, I never heard about her, but she's been blowing up on my feed. Her name is Dora Mono Nyambe. She ran apparently a 500 capacity community school out in Mukushi. Her death sounds mysterious. The family just came out with this statement that she drove herself to the nearest clinic where she was pronounced dead after coming from a party. So my call is on the police. When the community cries, she was only 33 years old. I hope you can do a good job and investigate that death so that her have she rests in in peace, and the family have the answers that they're craving for. 500 kids that she rescued from troubled homes in that area. That's a big number. Who's gonna take care of them? Because I mean, it broke my heart, and I like to think I'm tough tested, but after watching all the videos and the kids and then reading all statements, I just hope the police will really get to the bottom of this, so the young lady can rest in peace. And my goodness, we have evil people back home. That's my take on that. Anyway, lady and gentlemen, until next week, keep the faith. We'll be right back here dealing with the same shows. The ones that want to keep talking, you can right after this minute.
Okay. Hello.
Vamashina, there's one topic I didn't discuss with you.
Okay.
Mwachirara ndapali achira kwa maximum.
Oh, hold on. I'm not done yet. Oh, God.
I will get it.
Mwachirara ndapali achira kwa maximum.
Before Tamuraisa, I want to respond to you. Wakombe wacha vika point. So that after facing bus, then you come in.
Okay, fine.
Because my point was not that Max
is doing something with my buttons here. I swear.
What have you done?
Kazia, you're doing something with my buttons. I can't.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
He has bewitched you.
Why am I not ending the stream then?
He has bewitched you.
I can't end the stream because he has bewitched